Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hey y'all, did you miss me, bitches? It's your boy Chris Avalon, and welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, a show where we talk about all things going on in celebrity news and hot topics. So that's a show for you. Definitely need to stick around for the latest tea. In the meantime, also, if you have not already, I almost forgot what my usual opening. I don't have dementia like you know who, allegedly. But if you can, please hit the like button and that subscribe button. Also, be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. And we got a lot of tea to get to because, you know, I was off Friday and weekends I usually don't give a show unless I work within the week, like a Friday, whatever the case is. But um some stuff happened. So I was busy the whole weekend. I was so exhausted last night. I was like, okay, I need some sleep. so um so yeah, it's gonna be a lot of topics that we're gonna get to today, apparently. So I got some Resident Evil reboot news. I got a release date on when we're gonna get Scary Movie 6, the Michael Jackson biopic. Yeah, they talking about it's going through some things because of a legal loophole. So they gotta reshoot the entire third act. I'm gonna give you all the information on it if you haven't heard. Katy Perry announced dates for the US leg of her upcoming tour. Lady Gaga, you know, as they said that there was going to be some tea that comes out on Monday. Apparently, it was the album release date, the name of the album, all that other stuff. It came out today. All the billboards were put up in New York. That's how everybody found out the tea. So we'll get into that. Plus, we got who's going to be performing at the Grammys next Sunday. Liam Payne, is going to be rumored to be honored at the Brit Awards, and they're saying that we may get a One Direction reunion in the process. What else? Oh, child, we got to talk about Camila Cabello performing to an arena full of where it was like practically empty. I don't know if y'all seen the pictures, but we got to talk about it on here. And there was a celebrity that was actually coming to her defense, so we'll talk about that. Plus, there's a lot of mess going on within the Cyrus family. Apparently, they're saying Miley has no interest in rekindling a relationship romance. That would be ill. That's DJ Akademiks. We're going to talk about ill with him coming up, but Miley Cyrus has no interest in repairing her fledgling relationship or strained relationship, if you want to call it, with her father. We're going to get into that. Plus, Trace is still speaking out, bracing his team dad and against the whole family. It is a whole family mess going over there in the Miley household. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, Trace said that he was threatened with legal action by Billy Ray after the family expressed concern over his health. And speaking of which, we were talking about DJ Akademiks got caught out here exposing, he was exposed for grooming a 15-year-old. The 15-year-old, they say they may take legal action. They're going to get the police involved. I heard Akademiks talked about it today. We'll get into it. And then also we have a lot of homosexual news. We got to talk about the Vivienne. She was finally laid to rest. So we're going to get into that. There's a development 2 years after Heklina's death. They're saying that some foul play may have been involved. And it's interesting how 2 years later, we're now coming to this revelation. Should we talk about that? Plus, Lexi Love came out as HIV positive after Trump started his mess over erasing resources from federal websites. And we got some news on Kim Chi on what's the next reality show she wants to get on. And Alan Cumming revealed that when he did when he won for the Traitors at the Emmys, how he apologized to RuPaul and the girls from Drag Race over his win. And we'll get into that. I don't want to blow my wad and give y'all the tea on how I feel on that yet, but we'll talk about it. And Ru had responded to what he said because he just recently did a cover of, I think it was Out magazine. So yeah, he did that. And so we'll get into that and a whole lot more. But yes, as I stated before, if you can, please hit that like button and that subscribe button. And also be sure to smash that notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Please and thank you. Okay, so let me hit my banners. I see we have people in the comments already. What the hell am I doing? All of a sudden, I forgot how to press the buttons over here. It was like, okay. I was like, where's my banner? There it is. I'm forgetting how to press. Look, I tell you, I take literally a couple of days off and I forget how to do everything over here. It always ceases to amaze me when that happens. But I see Onyx is in the building. Hello, hello, hello. Ray of Light has been trending. Of course it has. And yes, well, I'm sure you saw my tweet because you responded. I mean, you liked it. But there was heavily Ray of Light influence and Bjork's. I would say there's a little bit of I went mostly with debut, but I felt there was elements of post on there as well. There might have been a couple of elements of homogenic. I would really like her to go further into that whole side, but it was like, yeah, there was a lot of Ray of Light elements. And funny enough, when I read the liner notes, she worked a lot with Marius DeVries. Now, for those of you who don't know who Marius DeVries is, Marius DeVries have been around for a long time. They produced stuff for Tricky, they produced stuff for Bjork, they produced stuff for Madonna. So it makes sense that Marius would be a choice that she would go with to work on this record. So, um, that's why I like the record. I was asking a friend of mine earlier. I was like, "Did you listen to it?" He said, "Well, she's not my cup of tea." I said, "Well, maybe she'll turn it around." Because here's the thing: I was never really big on FKA Twigs, but now that she's kind of gone into her electronic bag, I'm like, "Girl, you need to stay there because you kind of fit within that whole '90s electronic type of sound where it was very much experimental." And she's a British girl, so I'm like, "Yeah, that's kind of like the wheelhouse you need to kind of further slither into." You said any thoughts on Bjork saying Spotify is the worst thing ever? I didn't hear that story, but funny enough, I did see that the concert thing that she was supposed to be doing for Apple is up on YouTube. And I was playing around with my PS5 yesterday because I was linking all of my streaming channels and stuff like Hulu and Netflix and all that stuff. I was linking it to I was busy linking it to my PS5 yesterday. That's pretty much what I was doing when I got in. And I saw that it was up there. I was like, oh, let me click on this so I remember to watch it. But kind of agree with her. Spotify is the worst thing that happened to musicians. I feel like all of these digital stuff is the worst thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel like TikTok has been good for musicians because it pushes the stuff out there without having to be gate kept by the industry as a whole. But one of the things I don't like is the fact that how people are a slave to these algorithms, which is like, oh, you have to make a song under 3 minutes for people to kind of. I mean, I get it. Your standard pop song is kind of like 3 minutes or under, or maybe I've always felt like when I was growing up, we always pushed for like 3:25, 3:30, like 3.5 minute song. That was like good enough pop track. Now it's just like they get shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter. They are just removing all kinds of things to make a song for what it is. So I'm hoping that, slowly we start to get back to that. I took the weekend off. I didn't take the weekend off. I was working. I was busy this entire weekend. So you said so that wasn't why I wasn't here. If I'm not doing the show, I am working and doing the show, but then also the times that I come if I'm busy, I'm relatively busy a lot on the weekend. So yeah, but yeah, a child, because you was doing too much with that. He said, sorry for filling your inbox with that. Yeah, it was a lot of Trump stuff that was going on. And I've been paying attention to some of it, not all of it, because I haven't had the time to sit and go through everything. But this is what they do. Every president, the first couple of weeks of their term, they're relatively busy getting a lot of things done. He's pushing for all this stuff. He wants to cause a whole bunch of chaos and get everybody all dizzy and be like, what the fuck? Like, every day is something new, some new kind of policy, some new thing that he's trying to push through. Now he's trying to be a third president term. Then I saw him with Gavin Newsom at the airport. He's doing that Annie, are you okay? Smooth criminal Michael Jackson lean forward, except he ain't had them little, he wasn't doing the choreography, but word on the curb is people trying to say he got dementia. And I kind of believe it, but he was allegedly he had that beforehand. So now you got some halfway brain dead person running the country for, I don't get it. But like I said, I really don't want to make this a political heavy show. Unless there's stuff regarding the current administration and celebrities interlinking with it, then we'll get heavily into the Trump stuff. But I know everybody's kind of be overwhelmed, but I do feel like everybody needs to stay vigilant. Everybody needs to be aware of what's going on and watch a lot of the pundits that are really going to inform you on what's going on. Like, watch Secular Talk. That's like one of the go-to shows that I watch with Kyle Kalinske and his wife. She comes on every now and again, but he mostly does it. Brian Tyler Cohen who I just heard had a birthday. I did not know he was a Capricorn, but I'm like, okay. So when he and I decided to finally get married, and I'm just like, I don't know if he's a homosexual, but I trying to get a vibe though. I'm like, he can sit on my face. But so there's him, and then Sabby Sab. Sometimes she get on my nerves with some of the things she says, but Sabby Sab's another good one. And Tennessee Brando was like this guy who on paper and everything aesthetically he looks like a Trump supporter, but he is the total opposite. He looks like a biker with and everything. But so when you look at him, it's like, oh, you reek of Trump support, but that's a stereotype. And I think that's why he's got so many followers. I think he almost has 1 million followers on YouTube, and I think it's because he looks like the polar opposite. And he's from the South. He's from Tennessee. So it's funny. I have a DJ friend named DJ Tennessee. But anyway, Muzafar says, good. All right. So with all that out of the way, let's get into our first topic and let's talk about Resident Evil. So y'all already know we've had many iterations of Resident Evil. We had the movies with Mila Jovovich, and her husband was directing all those films. And some people feel like that he was just giving his wife a damn job. But look, apparently, because she also has a new movie coming out with Dave Bautista that he's directing. I don't remember the name of it. All I remember was I saw the trailer, and the trailer, it just looked so much like bad CGI. Like everything was done in front of a green screen. It looked like y'all had like a $20 million budget and was trying to make a $100 million action sci-fi film look like something, but it looked like y'all only had like a $20 budget to make everything happen. So it doesn't look very good. But then again, when it comes to Paul W.S. Anderson, do we expect anything good to come out of whatever he makes? Although I will say he's made a couple of movies over the years that I relatively enjoyed. A guilty pleasure of mine will always be the original Mortal Kombat from the 90s. I actually do like the first Resident Evil. And there's elements of those films that I like, but for the most part, y'all have deferred so far away from the lore and what the games are and the tone of the games and stuff, that it was just like I'm over it. We need a reboot. And then they tried another reboot with Welcome to Raccoon City. That one was okay, but I was left relatively disappointed. And don't even get me started on the Netflix series with the late, great Lance Reddick. May he rest in peace. They made a movie, they made a series with him. I couldn't even get past the third episode. I'm like, this shit is terrible. But nevertheless, if they say if you first don't succeed, dust yourself off and try again. Who said that? Oh, it was Aaliyah. May she rest in peace. So, I guess I would say third time's the charm, because it was like the original was first time they did it, but then it's like, or should we say fourth time is the charm? Apparently, I'm not good at math today, but now we have the director of Barbarian who is going to take on rebooting the franchise, and I have to say, I actually finally got high hopes for Resident Evil. Then I saw, speaking of which, before we even get to the story, there's a trailer. I don't know if people have seen it, of George Romero was supposed to work on a Resident Evil movie and it never happened. I believe they did a documentary on it and that is supposed to be coming out. So I've been seeing those trailers all around. So there seems to be like this big resurgence on Resident Evil, and rightfully so, because there's so many amazing characters in that series that we definitely need a reboot. So it says, in what seems to have become the first major auction of the year, an intense bidding war is underway for a reboot of Resident Evil, the horror action movie franchise based on the popular video games. Now, Zach Cregger is attached to write and direct. Now, as I said earlier, Zach Cregger directed a film called Barbarian with Justin Long, and Bill Skarsgård. I forget the girl who was in the movie, but the movie was relatively good. I thoroughly enjoyed Barbarian. And where I thought they was going to go with it, he totally changed my mind. Because I was just like, I thought the bad guy was going to be Bill Skarsgård. And I guess because he's kind of been typecast at certain points. But the twists kept coming, and I was relatively surprised by this film. So I think like Zach definitely did a great job with that film. So he made me a fan of what he does. So they also said 4 studios are elbowing for the win, among them Warner Brothers and Netflix, according to sources. Please don't go to Netflix, because after, like I said, what they did with that series, please don't go to Netflix. And especially the bastards over there keep raising their damn prices. They just raised the price again. So now Constantine Film, excuse me, which I believe is actually producing that horrible ass movie I was telling y'all about. It's coming out with Mila Jovovich and Dave Bautista. See, it's so bad. I don't remember the damn name of the movie. But if y'all know, drop it down in the comments. So Constantine Film, which has held the screen rights to the title since the late 90s and has been behind the previous movies, will produce the reboot along with PlayStation Productions. Shay Haddon, who worked on John Wick Chapter 4 and Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead, is co-writing, which that's another reason why I've got high hopes. First of all, y'all already know I love the John Wick franchise. And Army of the Dead, I was really hoping that we were supposed to get a universe out of that whole thing. But then Netflix decided to scrap it. I really wish they would have went along with that instead of Zack Snyder's other horrible ass Rebel Moon franchise. I hated those movies. Those, in my opinion, were two of the worst films of 2024. The Scargiver, I would say the Scargiver was the worst. Even though it's hard to kind of like on the Kinsey scale, which one was the worst? They both were pretty bad, but the Scargiver takes the damn cake if I had to choose. But I saw so much potential in the Army of the Dead franchise that I'm like, can y'all really reconsider and then bring that back? Because I like, I'm a big fan of like zombies and all this other stuff, and I like where they were going with that. So there were some pretty cool ideas there, and with Shay Haddon on board to help out with the writing, I feel like we may be onto something here. Now, the movie's 6, starring Mila Jovovich, plus one origin feature made during the pandemic, have made money makers, but Cregger is the reason studios are willing to shell out major money. Now, Cregger is an actor and comedian, which I did not know that he was an actor and a comedian before he reinvented himself as a filmmaker. That was some news to me when I found that out. So, after Barbarian was a huge, hit amongst the horror movie aficionados and horror movie fans, it basically established him as a new voice in horror. And when he came out with his follow-up horror project, a bidding war erupted. So that film is actually called Weapons, and it's going to star Josh Brolin and Julia Garner. And I believe that Warner Brothers' Warner's New Line division has picked that up, and he's become, as they say, a Final Cut director. So now they said the word on Weapons is that it's very strong and has been testing quite high, according to resources. And Warner's, which has not yet dated the movie, is likely doing everything it can to keep Cregger in its talent fold. And you have to realize also, Barbarian was a Warner Brothers movie. So Warner Brothers like, okay, this guy so far, he's come out with some great ideas. It's original content. Weapons is an original film. Barbarian was an original idea, and it was a cult hit. And, horror movies go over relatively well with fans. Like, if there's one genre that you can constantly bet on with being, well, I won't say with automatically being successful, but having like the most loyal fan base, would be the horror movie fan base. Because there's been some horror movies that was like, that was a choice. Like those Pooverse films. Don't even get me started on that trash. But but for the most part, it's like, yeah, I would definitely love to see Warner Brothers having a Resident Evil film under their umbrella instead of Sony. Because I believe Sony was a part of it at one point. Well, with Constantine Films and stuff, I believe they were at Sony at one point. And with Zach coming aboard, I really feel like this would be a marriage made in heaven, where we can see, especially because Warner Brothers has The Last of Us. So that's another video game franchise that kind of plays into the zombie world that Warner Brothers has attached to their situation. So they also said that the Resident Evil movies based on the Capcom games were a mix of, well, we already know it's a mix of horror, sci-fi, and action. So it said it followed the adventures of a heroine who fights zombies and the Umbrella Corporation. Well, that was the movies. That's not necessarily the game, because it's not. First of all, a girl named Alice don't even exist in the games. And that's what was kind of irritating me, because if you want to bring in a new character, you know what? I never really thought about this before, but Alice kind of reminds me of like, did people have the same energy towards an Alice being a made-up character? Because they were kind of playing into the whole Alice in Wonderland situation, which was the elements they were doing in the original movie, versus when y'all were going in on Louis Tan as Cole Young in Mortal Kombat. Like, I feel like more people were pissed off about Louis Tan than they were about Mila, and I think it's because a lot of us grew up watching Mila in films like The Fifth Element and so many other films that we kind of gave her a pass. But I don't know. Maybe y'all need to refresh my memory. Were people that upset when y'all had like this made up character and she became more the dominant force. And I know a lot of people wanted, where's Leon? Where's Jill? Where's Chris and Claire Redfield? Where's Ada Wong? Why are we really getting these characters in these films? I mean, we did eventually start getting them throughout, but I felt like that a lot of their characters were playing secondary to Mila pretty much and getting to do everything. She had to do the action, she had to do the acting, and her acting could be questionable at times. But y'all pretty I felt like Paul was trying to push her to be in front of the forefront of everything and wasn't really leveling out everything for everybody else to do. So um what Zach has said is that the revamp will take the title to its hard roots and be more faithful to the initial games, which date back to 1996. So if that's what's going to happen, then I will say that I will definitely be here for this reboot. And for those of you, I know a lot of people hate on the Resident Evil films. The movies have made $1.2 billion worldwide. So say what you want about these films, but they make money. And at the end of the day, whether or not the films are terrible, whether you hate them, because I know a lot of people do not like these films, but I have a lot of friends who love these movies, and it's a lot of gay guys. But I think it's because we like watching women kick ass on screen. So mostly it resonates with a lot, and a lot of like people that are into like genre fans, those other stuff. So people don't really mind them. I'm not saying that they're perfect because they're not, but they make a ton of money. And it also says, well, so to wrap this up, it's like, you know what? Um, the movies aren't good in my opinion. They and at times they were like Paul would create lore, and then later on in the film, he wasn't even abiding by the very lore that he created for this universe. So that was kind of always the irritation for me, especially when he changed up so many times on how people were infected and the things that the Umbrella Corporation was. I'm like, do you not keep a black book of all the? Do you not keep like a little chart or a list of some of the stuff you actually come up with, and just go back to that? So that way, there's it's within the same timeline, and you're not just pulling stuff out your behind thinking that we forgot. So, uh, in a way, I was even say they're guilty pleasures of mine. There's some I'll pop on just to watch just for fun, but it's not like I gotta, it's not rocket science when you're watching those. But the one I forgot to mention, I mean that I did mention, I'm sorry, but I did mention it. The Welcome to Raccoon City. That movie was directed by Johannes Roberts, and he directed 47 Meters Down, The Strangers Pray at Night, which was the latter was not a good movie. 47 Meters Down was okay. Strangers Pray at Night was not good, but it was better than that chapter one that they just came up with. That was something. And that film starred Kaya Scodelario, who's in Kroll as Claire Redfield, Hannah Joan Kamen from Ant-Man and the Wasp. She played Jill Valentine. Robbie Amell played Chris Redfield. That's the cousin of Stephen Amell. And, fans and critics didn't like it. And like I said, I wasn't one of them. I think I had a roommate that pretty much he thought it was all right, but I didn't particularly like it. I thought it was disappointing. I like the fact that they incorporated stuff in the games, but it just didn't feel like a real Resident Evil movie. So I'm confident we can finally get a proper Resident Evil adaptation. And I'm looking forward to seeing when this movie gets made. And shout out to you, Mila, and what's left of your career. So, what do y'all think of this story? You guys excited that we're getting a new Resident Evil movie? That's going to be coming. Well, who knows when it's coming? First of all, they got to get the script done, and they'll probably start filming it later on this year, and then maybe we'll get it in 2026, more than likely 2027. My thing is, I'm ready for a reboot. If y'all got a new idea and y'all can make it real cool or whatever, then I'll see it. And I'm also looking forward to whenever this. I mean, I don't even know if the documentary, the one that George Romero George Romero, that he was actually supposed to make a movie of Resident Evil, but it got scrapped. I'm wondering when is that documentary coming out? Because I definitely want to check that out. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Robert says, my friend said, look at the visuals of Mayhem. It's not Madonna, but Marilyn. Funnily enough, I was literally on the phone with someone earlier today, and he said she looked like Marilyn Manson in this photo. And so I'm like, yeah, Marilyn Manson was someone who did industrial music. But we'll get to that later on. So I'm like, yeah, it very much gives. He still asks, how does die what? Oh, you said my friend said the month release push up makes me believe that she did some balance to make Die with a Smile fit. Yeah, I feel like if maybe she needs to do. That's why I was wondering because I'm like, wait a minute, Die with a Smile does not. I mean, the whole vibe of Die with a Smile does not fit on that record. So I don't even know why you would add that unless there's a remix or something. So we'll see. Barbarian was really good. I look forward to his vision for the franchise. Yeah, agreed. I actually like Barbarian. That's why I said it took me in a direction. I was like, oh, I didn't know you were going here, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. Um, but yeah, I definitely want to check that out. So I truly believe because look, so far everybody's saying that he's like one of the directors to watch. There's that film Weapons that's supposed to be coming out. I don't think I've seen, I don't think a trailer's been released for that because I haven't heard anything about it. But with Julia Garner, I definitely want to check that out. And Josh Brolin, who I'm hoping doesn't retire because he's mad that Denis Villeneuve got overlooked for the Oscar, which I agree with. Like, y'all need to stop playing in that man face. I already said that when I did my Oscar citation. But anyway, and yeah, I heard the same thing. And I think that's one of the reasons why I did not go see it is because I heard that Wolfman was not a good movie. So I was like, I'll just wait until it comes out on one of the streaming services I heard it wasn't good. And plus, I guess, it's a sign that a movie is not good if it's dumped in January. But these days it's hard because they drop bad movies in every month, it seems now. Or they even drop good movies in the early months. Before it used to be January and February were the dumping ground for movies until like the real season of films starts up, which would be like March in the summer of films and stuff. And then August would also be that month of like, okay, we're just dumping all the bad movies in that month. But now it's kind of hard because they drop good movies in every month. Every month it seems. Oh, well, I'm looking forward to seeing. I hope they give us more extra. I hope they don't reveal too much in the trailer because I hate trailer spoilers. Like that new one, Companion. I was so mad when they revealed who the girl was, what her whole situation was. That she's sort of a companion, like a sex robot. Who goes haywire. And I'm sitting like, why would you spoil it in the trailer? I literally had when I watched the trailer, I'm like, what the hell is this? But I'm intrigued and I'm going to go see it. And then in the new trailer, they go and reveal her whole situation. I'm like, come on. Like, I wanted to go into the movie being relatively surprised. But these days, they said that people want to know spoilers. People are okay with being told every aspect of the thing, which irritates me. But I have a roommate that is into it. He wants to know the entire film, the beginning, the middle, the end, the spoilers, everything. And then he'll watch it. I'm like, why would you want to go in knowing everything? Like, don't you want to go and watch a movie and just be taken on a journey? Like, that's usually what I do. If I'm reading a book, I'm listening to music, if I watch a film, I want to be taken on a journey. I want to go on this situation where it's just like, I want to be able to go through those peaks and valleys and be comfortable in certain moments and uncomfortable in other moments. And I think a lot of people just I guess a lot of people just don't like sitting in their uncomfortableness. Cyber, I got my tickets for the new Captain America movie. I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm going to a fan screening on, so I'm going to the IMAX over in Kips Bay. They had some good seats up in there still available. I think because a lot of people don't want to go over to the east side, but I'm like, bitch, I'd rather go all the way over there to get good seats than be stuck on the side. So I'm looking forward to that. I hate how Hollywood is quiet. The inauguration killed the Blake Lively thing. Back in the day, 3 to 5 stories used to exist all at the same time. Yeah, a lot of people's attention span is a hot ass mess. And I don't think it was even the inauguration. I just think it's all the crap he's been doing. It's just been overshadowing everything that's going on. Yeah, the Republicans is putting up with it. The Democrats are sitting on their hands and not doing anything. The only one that's speaking up is AOC. And now we got people getting fired for calling people out on their BS on the Republican side. Like there was a meteorologist that was just fired from their job for speaking out against the Nazi salute stuff. And this is where we are now. People from CNN laying off hundreds of people. This country is going to shit as we speak in real time. So buckle up, people. The new media needs to embrace the model of 5 to 7 stories and bring entertainment news to cover it all. But it seems the media today they cover, yeah, what they're interested in, what's going to pay the bills, because all they care about it's corporate sponsorships. That's all they care about. All they care about is selling y'all soap, tampons, and shampoo, and Metamucil, and Viagra, and all, anything else that's supposed to help you when you a person of a certain age. That's all they care about. The pharmaceuticals companies got to get their cut, so they always putting all that bullshit on your screens. So this is where we are now. This is why a lot of people are leaving legacy media and going into independent media. And that's why I had to laugh when you had that idiot over there at Fox News talking about corporate media, legacy media is dead, blah, 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 like going in on CNN or whatever. I'm like, sir, are you not aware that you are also on legacy media? Fox News is legacy media. I know y'all may act like y'all are just at the cutting edge, but you're legacy media. If you're on a network television channel spewing your bullshit for profit and corporate sponsors, you have all of that, you are legacy media. So maybe you need to open up a dictionary. Well, since we have the internet, you could actually Google schmoogle and figure out what the hell legacy media means, because you are a part of it, the very establishment you're trying to clown. And don't even get me started on that idiot that tried to clown Kamala Harris on her husband and for going shopping with her. I'm like, so do you not go food shopping in your house? Or do you have, you know, Lupe go out and do your damn shopping? I know some people want to get back, why are you stereotyping? Because who else be doing these white people shopping? They don't do their own damn shopping. You know they be having their housekeeper, who more than likely is that woman they all talk about, that they families they want to deport. But let's check y'all house and see who y'all got up in there if they got their damn papers. So it's the hypocrisy for me. So anyway, let's move on and get back into the movie news. And now we have a release date on Scary Movie. What is it? 6? We have Scream 7, and which is filming, and Scary Movie 6, which I'm excited about because y'all know I love the Wayans brothers. I'm glad the Wayans family is back. Because, well, yeah, they are brothers. What am I talking about? Because we got Keenan, Marlon, and Sean. So yeah, they are siblings. What am I talking about? I was like, yeah, the Wayans brothers. Because I'm thinking when I said Wayans brothers, remember back in the day they had the show with the actual Wayans brothers, which was Marlon and Sean. But it's like, yeah, you forget Keenan is a part of the sibling situation. So yes. So now after nearly 2 decades, from their departure from the franchise that they created, because they had their little falling out with the studio. It's nice that the studio realized they don't do it, and now they want to bring them back into the fold, and that would be Miramax. So the Wayans brothers reteamed Scary Movie from Paramount and Miramax is going to be hitting theaters on June 12th of 2026, which I don't know is that a good date to be releasing a horror movie, especially because June is usually like a month where you get a lot of superhero movies, action movies, like the popcorn type stuff. And don't get me wrong, Scary Movie is definitely going to be like popcorn entertainment, but it's a horror film with a little comedy thrown in. So I don't know if that's a good date. I would have thought maybe I would have put it out later on in the month, like a September, or maybe even like a February or March. But whatever, I'll be there supporting it. So they said also opening on June 12th is the next Daniels directed movie from Universal. Their first picks. Oh yeah, I was like, who's the Daniels? Then I remember they did Everything Everywhere All at Once. So yeah, that's the name they go by because both the names is Dan. But anyway, so it's the first time in 18 years that the Wayans have gathered to pen a new original script from the restart of the satirical franchise. Rick Alvarez is also writing and producing. The series has sent up such hard picks as Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer. Now, Scary Movie, which came out in 2000, was one of the highest grossing R-rated horror movies of all time. The film opened to $42.5 million, which was the biggest opening for an R-rated horror movie with a black director at that time. Now, the Scary Movie franchise was developed by Marlon Wayans, Sean Wayans, and Keenen Ivory Wayans. Now, Keenen Ivory Wayans wrote and directed the first 2 films. Marlon Wayans and Sean Wayans wrote and starred in the first 2 films. This would be their sixth film in the franchise, but I think it'll be They didn't do Scary Movie 3 because Scary Movie 3 was taken away from them, but I heard they already turned in the script and everything, which they said that's why the reason why Scary Movie 3 was actually good because they actually wrote it. But there was some drama going on behind the scenes that, the franchise was taken away from them. So now Miramax is a studio, as I said earlier, behind the franchise, and Paramount Pictures is releasing it worldwide. Now, Scary Movie is part of Paramount's first look deal with Miramax. Now, Paramount is trying to bring comedies back at the box office. So in addition to them having Scary Movie, they also have a Trey Parker, Matt Stone untitled comedy that's going to be coming out on July 4th of this year. They also have a Naked Gun remake with Pamela Anderson and Liam Neeson coming out on August 1st. And now we have Scary Movie. And I feel like at this point, we definitely need comedies to make a comeback because, unfortunately, with the idiot in chief in the White House right now, we definitely need to have a laugh. And I just really feel like that when it comes to comedy, like with this type of film, can we really go there with the edginess and not be like, oh, that's offensive? And I was offended. Like, can we just have a laugh? So I'm really hoping that with them going in and coming back on board, that we can. I mean, I know that they're older and a lot more mature, and some of the movies that Marlon has done over the years have been questionable. However, in this situation, what I'm really hoping is that with this franchise that we can get some look, there's a pick of the litter where you can go in. You can make fun of Miss Samar, you can go in and make fun of Hereditary, you can go in and make fun of The Witch, you can go in and make fun of, you can find comedy in, maybe even Terrifier. Like make some jokes with that. And get David Howard Thornton to pop up in there or something. I don't know. I'm sure Damian Leone wouldn't mind, but poke fun and all this stuff. And even like Scream and all the drama that was going on behind the scenes with them and all that other stuff. Like just get very meta and very funny with it. And just poke fun at all the latest craze of horror movies. I forget what did Jenna Ortega call it in Scream 5? Which I was like rolling my eyes at, elevated horror. So yeah, it's like poke fun of the whole elevator. I don't even know what that shit even means. They did explain it, but I'm just like, really? So I guess elevator horror is like the Babadook and all that other mess, which that little boy in the Babadook irritated my entire spirit. So, but it was a good movie though. Oh, and I also forgot to mention, congratulations. Look, comedy seems like it's doing really well because congratulations to SZA and Keke Palmer because of that movie. It's just one of them days where we're gonna be all alone. Well, that's Monica. But this film, that just one of them days, that's what it's called. Well, or one of them days. It opened to $17 million in its first week. So that's considered a hit. I don't know what the budget is. It's probably less than that because whenever it comes to black folks, y'all don't want to pay y'all want to do the bare minimum with how y'all want to charge when it comes to giving people budgets, especially when black people make movies. Y'all want to give them the tiniest damn budget. So it's probably under $10 million and it made the money that it made. So yeah, so there's the date for the film, courtesy of Marlon Wayans' Instagram. And there's that. So I ask all of you guys, what do you think of this story? Are you guys excited for Scream? Well, Scream 7 is shooting. But Scary Movie 6, are y'all excited to see this movie? You're glad that the Wayans brothers is back? And yes, please, 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 I sincerely hope that Cindy and Brenda are going to be in this film because if they're not, us Scary Movie fans are going to hit the streets and we're going to riot. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so we have comments. My friends who are American citizens are bringing Social Security and birth certificate because well, it seems like that's the thing everybody's going with right now because look, they were talking about like how people are being stopped and they're being asked for their identification and all that stuff. So yeah, they're cracking down on they're racially profiling because that's clearly what this is, and they're trying to see if you are an American citizen. But who's walking around with papers all day? Like, shit, I don't. The only thing I walk around with is my regular ID. That's what I walk around with. I'm like, y'all want to actually call the DMV and find out if I'm an American damn citizen? If you want to call down to the courthouse in Manhattan and find out if my birth certificate is on file, because that's clearly what y'all gonna start doing. I'm not carrying all that shit around. So, and then one of my friends who lives in Jackson Heights was taking pictures and showing like these police vans that's just parked out there. And yeah, in Jackson Heights, Queens, it is in Elmhurst. It is heavily a lot of, you know, Latin people that's out there, and I know a lot of them are probably migrants. And so yeah, that area is Latin heavy or Hispanic heavy, I should say. Wait, what are you talking about with Damon? Damon was in wait, Damon was in a scary movie. But I like Damon Wayans. We said Scream 3, 2000. Wait, why are we talking about Scream 3? Scary movie. I know scary. I think Scary Movie they're saying came out in 2000. I wouldn't be surprised if they're falling involved. Probably because it's a nasty perverted ass and racist. I do believe he was a racist too. Scary Movie 2000, Scream 7, February 2026. Scary Movie, same time frame. Scary Movie overshadows Scream, and a whole generation confused the Ghostface mask. I would have waited a year and a half because Scream fully recovered from the confusion, given a 4-month release date. I mean, Tom, and I guess maybe because they both were part of Miramax, that's why they could use the mask. Because otherwise, they would have been like, nope, copyright infringement. So yeah, I guess since they were both under that they could do scary. But I was sitting there thinking, with Scary Movie, would they have to change up the mask? Or would it have been like y'all could poke fun at it, but you can kind of have like a mask, but not really? Kind of remember that stupid mask they did in the Scream TV series? And I was like, well, why could, if y'all gonna do a Scream TV series, why couldn't you use the same regular mask? I had to come up with some other mask, which I didn't like. I feel like maybe what they should do in the new Scary Movie one is use that ghost face mask, the one that was the chrome one. I'm like, maybe you should use that one. So they're not gonna be the only one who was in all the, yeah, she was. And I guess that was a good check. But I hope she comes back with Brenda. I'm thinking they're gonna do Megan, Terrifier, Smile, and a few others. Yeah, and look, they could. I could totally imagine them doing Smile though. Now that I think about it, Megan definitely, I could definitely see them making fun of, because especially with this whole thing on AI now and how they're pushing a lot of people, particularly Amazon and a bunch of other places, pushing a lot of people out of jobs and replacing us with artificial intelligence. So it is happening. I hated the Bob. You're the total opposite of, Jenna Ortega. When she had to deliver that stupid line, I still love the Bob. It's like, girl, well, I did. One of them days cost 14 million. Oh, but that's good to know. $14 million. Look, it made his budget back. No, but he's the other. Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about. Well, yeah, Damon Wayans had a big career in Hollywood too. Like he was Mr. Action movie star. He would do a lot of action comedies and all this stuff. So yeah. Crystal wants Anna Faris, but I think she retired because her ex ruined her career by pushing back and saying that she refused to love me as a hot dude, love me overweight. Well, yeah. Well, look, not everybody wants a man that has 6-pack abs and a tight butt. Some people like a little jiggly puff. And maybe she felt that way because she felt that, oh, if you got hot, you would cheat on me. I don't know. Whatever her insecurities is, that's what she got to deal with. Kind of like Ryan Reynolds. He need to deal with his, allegedly. But hopefully she didn't retire. I was like, what is that? Oh, I think it's like I'm seeing gray in my hair. My mustache. Well, you can see it in my beard. But I'm like, oh yeah, I got this hair. I'm like, it's distracting me. Now I've drawn attention to it. Now everybody's gonna be noticing it because I'm noticing shit on camera. But anyway, let's move on. And let's talk about Michael Jackson, because I was sitting there like, okay, the movie's probably done. They're going to be editing and all this other stuff. And we'll be getting this movie on time later on in the year. But the word on the curb is the reason why this film was on a damn delay is because there were some things that they put in the film that now they got to remove because of a legal loophole that they overlooked. So the film based on the life of Michael Jackson is reportedly run into trouble over the plot, which is said to depict allegations the singer's estate have been banned from dramatizing. So, according to People magazine, Michael, the upcoming movie about Michael Jackson, made in cooperation with his family, is reportedly in need of a major overhaul due to unforeseen legal reasons. Now, according to a January 23rd report from Puck, the producers behind the already filmed project are facing a nightmare scenario, working to rewrite and do reshoots after lawyers realized a clause in a settlement made with one of Jackson's former accusers presented an issue. Now, Jackson, who died in 2009 at age 50, was accused in 1993 of sexually abusing a 13-year-old Jordan Chandler. The musician settled with the Chandler family out of court for a reported $25 million. Oh, hell no. There's no way in hell. Like, if I'm innocent, I'm like, child, we going to court. Ain't no way in hell I'm paying somebody $25 million to lie on me. And for that to go away, we going to fight it. But then again, I guess at the time of the 90s and how they treated PDF files and homosexuals allegedly and stuff. They was all trying to, because Michael was too damn weird. They were trying to take his ass down by any means necessary. So on one hand, I was like, oh hell no, not for no 25 million, especially for a lie. But then on the other hand, it's like, yeah, you wanted to go away knowing the circumstances of how it was in those days. So now so they said, now part of that settlement, according to Pug's multiple sources, is an agreement that the Chandlers can never be mentioned or dramatized in a movie. The outlet claims that Chandler's saga was a key backbone of the movie, written by John Logan, and that legally binding agreement was overlooked when the script was previously vetted and approved. Now, a source close to the production told People on January 24th, they said the Michael Jackson biopic is not total chaos. The inflammatory headlines about the moving, halting, is simply not true. The film is moving forward and reshoots are happening in March. So if everything is not true, if this is all like not, whatever, then why are we doing reshoots? What about what's going on with the film? Did y'all start showing like what do you call it? Did they start showing test screenings? I'm trying to find a damn word. I was like, well, y'all doing test screenings and all other stuff that was going on. Is that one of the reasons why all of a sudden now we're not getting, you're doing reshoots? Because to me, if the budget was what we had looked up many a times on the show, which is allegedly the budget for this film was $150 million, why are we doing reshoots then? Inquiring minds want to know. So now, a spokesperson for Lionsgate, the film's distributor, producer King, and attorney Jonathan Steinsapier, who repped the Jackson estate, did not respond to People's request for comment about the reports. Now, producer Graham King's company, GK Films, also behind the 2018 Oscar-winning Queen biopic, Bohemian Rhapsody, announced in May of 2024 that Michael had finished filming. Now, once slated for an April 18th, 2025 theatrical release, in November, Michael was postponed by 6 months to his current release date of October 3rd. And one of the reasons why I thought was that they were trying to push it for Oscar season. So if the movie has been done it's been in the can for what, 8 months? Then, and if y'all were so confident about dropping this movie in April, which was the initial date that y'all was supposed to drop it, then why do y'all need to do reshoots? Y'all could have had that in the bag a while ago. So I do feel like there was some stuff going on. They probably did overlook it. And now that they've seen, was like, well, wait a minute. Y'all weren't supposed to put this up in here. But y'all couldn't have figured, y'all can remember that from the beginning. Because I feel like if y'all going to touch on certain topics in this film, you should have, as a writer, he should have been, I won't say that he should have been the one to know, but the people in the studio should, or maybe it should have been him. That what can I touch and what can't I touch if I'm going to have to come in and write this script, especially when it comes down to legalities or whatever agreements that he was doing when those times that he did have to go to court and was accused of abuse of minors. So, as y'all already know, you have Michael Jackson's nephew Jafar, who's 28, is playing Michael, and Antoine Fuqua is directing. And they said that the log line for the film is going to bring an honest portrayal of the brilliant yet complicated Jackson, saying the film presents his triumphs and tragedies on an epic cinematic scale, from his human side and personal struggles to his undeniable creative genius captured by his most iconic performances. Now, the cast also, features Coleman Domingo and Nia Long as his parents, Joe and Catherine, plus Miles Teller is playing his attorney. So there's that. And I ask all of you, what do you think of this story regarding the reasons behind why Michael Jackson's film was going to be delayed? Because apparently they overlooked a key situation from writing the script that they couldn't film this. Because I'm sitting there like, how's nobody aware? This is a lot of money allegedly is going into this movie. Like I said, the budget's $150 million. So that's. But then the way these days that these studios are going about things, the way y'all just throwing around money like it's just nothing, and then y'all complain about, oh, well, Hollywood is burning all this money, and then they're having so many losses, and then y'all want to hit us up with another spike in the streaming services like they doing with Netflix and stuff, then we always end up being the ones being screwed in the end. So maybe y'all should just really paid attention to let's comb through all of the legal stuff, especially his estate should let them know. These are the things y'all cannot touch if y'all don't want it. You could allude to certain things. You could show him coming in and out of trial, but you can't get into further details, especially when it comes to certain people. I also wonder if they're going to touch on the Wade Robson, James Safechuck T. Because, they still trying to sue him for some coin. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Oh my God, I'm so mad at myself. I totally forgot to add the Pee Wee Herman story. That one that came out about his upcoming document, I was like, wait a minute, I know I'm forgetting some guy, but I think I had so many topics, I got overwhelmed. So I'm gonna save that one for tomorrow. But let's see what everybody said. Oh, well, could you imagine them doing a Substance? I would definitely love them to see them take that on. Talking to a friend, Michael, being internationally distributed by Universal Pictures. Unlike the estate, is probably why the Madonna biopic is being delayed. They don't want the Oscars date. Oh, so you're thinking that if she comes out with hers around the same time as the Michael biopic, that they feel like it's going to interfere and ruin their chances of getting a nomination? Well, we'll see. I mean, they both are icons. I don't think it will be a totally honest portrayal. I'm sure things will be left out. That's why I don't really care about biopics that much, because I feel like, y'all don't capture everything. And I understand that people say if you want reality, then you should watch like a documentary and all of this stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. But if you're gonna dramatize somebody's life and make it a film or whatever, then shouldn't you be putting all the things that we need to see in there? So we'll see if that film is Oscar worthy when it comes out. All right, so let's get into some Katy Perry news, because Miss Mama has announced that she is going on. Well, she announced the U.S. leg of her tour, and then I saw an article earlier. I think it was on Variety, where it was basically where she was saying that when she was putting together the tour and everything, this was a way for her to reconnect with the fans, because it was like, oh yeah, my fans grew up with me, and all they have children, and they're all following their dreams, and blah 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 blah. And it's like, from what I'm hearing, the upcoming tour is going to be hits heavy, as it should, because I don't even think that Katy Perry has deep cuts. There's nothing deep about her as a pop act. So they said that what she said is, we're giving BPM, we're giving celebration, we're giving unity, we're giving dance. This is what she told Rolling Stone. It will be like Disneyland on wheels, as it always is, at least for the eyes and the ears. Now, she teased that she'll play her whole life of hits thus far, while sprinkling in songs from last year's 143 and 2020 Smile, which didn't get a tour after she welcomed her daughter Daisy that year. Because I think it's been, almost 10 years since she's toured. It's been a minute. She said, I always remember the audience as a hybrid of different times of people, types of people. It's number one, fans, and then it's voyeurs. It's people that only know me for one song, and then people that know Simple. This is her referring to her 2005 deep cut feature on the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. It's such a smorgasbord. I have a responsibility to the audience to give them that sing-along, to create that moment, and to bring out some nostalgia. Now, Perry promises to include a segment of the tour to allow her fans to select seldom played tracks for her to perform. I also have a responsibility to myself to stay true to my art. And so I'll be introducing some new songs, and there will be a section that we have created for some songs that are the deepest cuts that I've never seen the light of day. Well, girl, I hope you gonna have some type of trickery for them to refresh your memory, because would you remember every song that you sung that are deep cuts that you're not gonna be doing the show for? But then also, here's the thing. So this is what I don't get about people. Do people actually buy tickets to artists that they only know for one song? Like, I would not pay money to see somebody live in concert off of one damn song. Like, I need to be like, especially with the amount that a lot of people are asking these days, especially when it comes to being an artist. Like, tickets ain't cheap. I don't have money to just be throwing around just to be supporting every single pop star under the sun. So I'm gonna be very selective. I also think, sidebar, I think FKA Twigs' tour in New York is around the same day as Kylie Minogue's. I'm like, damn, that's a conundrum. Because I did see she announced some of the dates, and then she is gonna be doing a New York day. But anyway, back to Miss Perry. Um, this is cute or whatever. They said that she will kick off the tour in Mexico City in late April before embarking on a cluster of U.S. stops in May. She then head to Australia in June before returning to North America for shows in Canada and across the United States through late August. She'll conclude the Lifetime's run by visiting South America and Europe. So she's got a lot of dates. I think she's doing 70 something plus dates. She last hit the road in 2017 to promote her fourth album, Witness. She also hosted an 80-day residency in Las Vegas called Play between 2021 and 2023. The singer recently joined the Jingle Ball for 2 shows. I know because I worked one of them. And she performed at La France's Le Gala des Pieces. Child, what is this? I can't even read. So she performed in France and performed for 100,000 people at Rock in Rio. So I don't know if a lot of people saw the Rock in Rio show. For those of you who went, hooray. That was the same type of event that Madonna did for, her celebration tour. Gaga's about to do another the Rock in Rio event. So apparently it's become this popular thing. Thanks yet again to the Queen, Shanta, setting the trends while y'all follow. So she did that. She's coming to New York. She's coming to America. She is coming to New York. The first kickoff of the U.S. tour date will be May 7th in Houston, Texas. And the last date will be in Miami, Florida on August 23rd. She also will be coming, well, August 11th, she'll be at Madison Square Garden. So, yeah, she will be at my job on that day. And if I work it out, definitely fill y'all in how the show was. But for the most part, yeah. And then funny enough, there were some people that I saw in my comments that were like, so how many people is actually going to buy tickets to this? Are we going to have us another Jennifer Lopez situation where, people go and buy, she sets up these arena tours and like people are like, we ain't asked for this, but we'll see. I'm sure Katy Perry's got a lot of a lot of fans, but we'll see if people in America give a damn. When those tickets go on, wait, when does the tickets go on? Oh, so when the tickets go on sale, which they go on sale on Friday, January 31st at 10 a.m. local time, although fans can start accessing pre-sale tickets on January 28th and 29th. So that's tomorrow and Wednesday. So if y'all are interested in getting tickets for Miss Perry, go off knees. I'm like, y'all tell me how the concert is. But then again, like I said, who knows? I may end up scheduled to work it and I'll tell you all about it. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Are you guys excited to see Miss Katy Perry on tour for the Lifetime's World Tour? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Someone called it the Wannabe Eras Tour. We're making half the audience, half the venue size, and perhaps not even 75% close to $2 billion. Child, well, wasn't that what Camila Cabello did? She performed to half the, which we're going to talk about coming up, is that I knock on wood, throw salt on and some condoms to less. Wait, condoms will bless you the opportunity to say no to working the Wannabe Eras Tour. It's funny. Yes, I see a lot of friends go to Morgan Wallen and other country singer concerts, and they only know their radio hits. They don't pay for pit tickets and such, but they go while they. That's crazy. I would never pay to go to a concert if I only know 2 songs. Speaking of which, Morgan, not that Morgan, but Morgan Wade is supposed to be coming to my job too. And I think Bush is doing a concert. Morgan Wade's going to be there. And there was somebody else. I saw the billboard advertisement on the Jumbotron. And I'm saying, like, Morgan Wade. So does that mean Kyle Rich is going to show up? Because allegedly they hunching. I know she tried to act like, oh, I'm the messing with this woman girl. I've heard some inside tea from somebody who was in my comments and said they worked an event where y'all was hug lovey-dovey up on each other and calling each other babe. And I'm sorry, but straight women who like dick don't do that. So if you out here getting your box eaten by a woman, just in the words of my girl, Garcelle, and what's her name? The other one, Lisa Rinna. Own it. Just own it. But of course, you want to be all closed off and have this wall up. And I feel like if you're gonna be like that, says on a reality show, you need to go. This need to be your last season. And some people I know just go to concerts and take group pictures and say, let me tell you, we was literally talking about that at my job yesterday because I was having a conversation with some of the guest service people, and we was literally talking about that, how there was some, I think one of my coworkers was telling me that they were working like as a director, which means like you just, when the people are coming up into like the towers, because it's like when you come up the escalator, there's like different towers. We have A tower, B tower, C tower, and D tower. And so when people are coming up to the different towers trying to figure out where their seat area is in the bowl, we pretty much will direct them and tell them which way to go. If they're looking for guest services, they're looking to drop their strollers off, if they're looking to do whatever, a medic, whatever, we tell them where to go. So um one of my coworkers was sitting there telling me, he said there was people that was at the Nicki Minaj concert, and that's exactly what they was doing. Y'all was there to just take photos. I said, who does that? Like, that's got to be the dumbest thing in the world. I literally am going to do a damn photo shoot. So you're standing there all night doing selfies and having your friends take your photo, and you're trying to act like you're having a good time. I can't tell you that was one of the reasons why I hated working Nicki's concert, because I can't tell you how many times people would get on the damn step and want to do whole photo shoots, titties all out, pushed up, in the tightest skirt possible, like they're about to go work the stroll. And I'm sitting there like, well, if you go to put your ass in your seat, like I can't, how many times I had to run up and down the steps, which was good because I run anyway. If I'm at the gym, I'm running on a treadmill, I do the stepper and everything. So all that comes in running up and down them steps when I'm at work. And I'm sitting there like, if you don't go sit your ass down, I don't say that because I wouldn't have a job. But I'm like, y'all can't be on the steps. Y'all need to go because you're pretty much blocking people's view. These people pay a lot of money to come to these concerts. You sitting there standing there like you want people to see you. I was like, what the hell was that? Oh, the printer. That was making noise. Okay. Jennifer could have been the opener. I said, you can't make it illegal and such bit that prevents real fans from getting tickets. I wish. It's because it's like if real fans want to get tickets and they can't because some moron just wants to go because they're bored and they need something to do. I'm not going to tell somebody how to spend their money, but I just don't get like how people spend money to just go to a concert and it's like you only know one or two songs. So I'm gonna just sit there looking like the whole time. And like, oh, I know that song. Let me sing along. Like, no. If I'm going to a Kylie Minogue concert, I got to know all the words to the songs so that way I can chime in. Or any other artist that I like. Because like I said, tickets are expensive. But then you find some really good deals, on the last day. Like sometimes they really drop them prices if they want you. Excuse me, if you want to if they want to sell out tickets. But anyway, let's move on. And let's talk about Lady Gaga, who has officially announced the name of her album, and it is called Mayhem, which I revealed to y'all last week. I said the rumor was that the name of her album was going to be Mayhem, and then somebody had to jump in my comments, Geo, which I had to read him a little bit. He goes and says, but that's been the rumor for months. I'm like, first of all, I don't follow her like that. Number two, I did not hear any of the little monsters out here saying Mayhem. All I heard was LG7. So maybe you heard something I didn't hear, but for the most part, nobody was referring to this as Mayhem. I didn't hear nobody talking about that was the rumored title of the album. In the last couple of days, I had started hearing rumblings, but not months. So I think he pulled that out of his ass. But nevertheless, let's continue. So apparently, Lady Gaga is getting ready to unleash mayhem on her little monsters, with the pop superstar finally announcing her highly anticipated seventh studio album on Monday morning. Which we already knew that there was going to be a big announcement because she made an announcement that she was going to make an announcement on Monday. And from what I saw, that when it was on Twitter and a bunch of other places, that they started putting the billboards up in Times Square and a bunch of other places of Lady Gaga's album, and I believe this is one of the covers. So the album is going to contain 14 tracks. It's going to be out on March 7th via Interscope, which is actually my cousin's birthday. I just realized that. So I'm like, which one? Oh, it's I'm trying to remember which one is it. Oh, it's my cousin Kenyatta. So her birthday is March 7th. Her brothers, and funny enough, this is probably why they both fight, because they both Pisces. So he's March 10th, and she was born a year later on March 7th. So clearly, my cousin and her man at the time knew when to get that hunchation in, because they aligned them being born around the same damn time. So that's her birthday, but she wasn't a big Gaga fan. My cousin, her brother was actually a big Gaga fan at the time. So it says a new song will debut on Sunday, February 2nd, with a music video premiering during a commercial break at the 2025 Grammy Awards. So, for those of you who, I guess, if they want to find a way to get us to come in and watch the Grammys, this is definitely a way to do it. And we're going to get into, after this segment, the list of who was announced that's going to be performing at the Grammys, because I got that too. But so we're going to get a new song. Have no idea what the song is, or what it sounds like, or who produced it. Or is it going to be, a more high energy song? Is it going to be a little more aggressive? Well, she did say it's going to be like this album of chaos and all sort of stuff. Is it going to be better than Disease? Because I know a lot of y'all did not like that song. But like I said, I like Disease. I didn't have no problem with it. I just didn't like the video. I thought the video was a letdown. I do like the song though. So Gaga did say in a press release that the album started as me facing my fear of returning to the pop music my earliest fans loved, likening the process to reassembling a shattered mirror, saying even if you can't put the pieces back together perfectly, you can create something beautiful and whole in its own new way. She executive produced the album alongside Michael Polanski and Andrew Watt, with individual producers including Watt, Circuit, and Gesaffelstein. Now, or is it, I said Gesaffelstein and Gesaffelstein, tomato, tomato. But here's the thing, I'm a Gesaffelstein fan. I listen to a lot of his music. First of all, for those of you who don't know who Gesaffelstein is, he is a industrial DJ and producer. I believe he is German. If you have not heard his production definitely sounds like, I was like, when I heard Disease, I'm like, yeah, kind of fits in that whole vibe. I like a lot of his electronic stuff, but I've told y'all before, I'm a huge industrial music fan. Like, I listen to Nine Inch Nails, which I'm so glad they're going on tour this year. I'm very much into like A-pop, Tegma, Berserk. I'm into VNV Nation. I listen to a lot of that music from overseas. So I am a huge industrial head. And I like Marilyn Manson, which a lot of people are saying this is giving Marilyn Manson tease with this picture. I've had multiple people say this to me, and I cackled over that. Because I'm like, sis, you aesthetically, you trying to give us Manson. It'd have been nice if you gave us something a little more original. But I am curious to hear this record. Um, it's like this album, I'm hoping is as good as FKA Twig's new album. I am obsessed with that new album of hers, You Sexual. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna just be now. So I'm loving that album. If y'all have not heard that record, I don't know what the hell is wrong with y'all. Y'all need to go listen to that album after this show is over. Because that album is giving me my life right now. I've had it on repeat since Friday when they dropped it. But nevertheless, it's not about FKA Twigs. It's about Mother Monster. So to get back to what she said, because I think this is something that we need to touch on. When she said that the album started as me facing my fear of returning to the pop music my earliest fans loved. I truly believe, I feel that when she said that, because I know a lot of people like, oh, here she go rehash what she did with the Fame Mountain. And I'm like, yeah, look, she's looking back on the stuff that she did. But I feel like the reason why she was afraid to go back to that is because people dragged her during the art pop era, which, no shade, that the art pop era was a mess. Like, you were trying to, it just felt a little too pretentious for me. Don't get me wrong, there's songs on the album I like. I understood what she was going for, but it was just a lot. It was chaotic. The execution didn't execute the way it needed to be executed. And I feel like, I always see like people go justice for art pop, justice for art pop. And in certain segments, I agree, but for the most part, I just felt like the album was a mess. And it just felt a little, it just felt a little too pretentious for my own liking. So art pop is whatever. The her trying to do the whole vomit thing like what this artist does, it was like, girl, that was a mess because she couldn't make herself throw up. It was like there's an artist that famously does that, and then she's trying to emulate it. It's like, ma'am, if this is not in your ministry, don't even try it. And apparently it wasn't because she was looking a little like fool to fool trying to do it. So I am definitely curious at the end of the day to hear what this album is. And I had somebody in my comments that said that too. They were like, you know what? I may not have liked Disease, but I'm definitely curious to hear what she's going to give us with this record. And the record has 14 tracks. I do hope that if she does do a remix record, that it sounds way better than the last one she put out with, what was it, the Chromatical one? I did not like that remix. I'm like, what the hell is this? I listened to it one time and turned that mess off because I'm like, this is just, it's a chop. If I was rating it on at a runway, it would be a chop. So, and look, to me, Disease didn't do that well, but Die With A Smile was her huge hit. They're also saying that they're putting that song on the record, but I hope that if you're going to put it on, that you find a way to make Die With A Smile fit within the overall sonic aesthetic of this record, because when you listen to Die With A Smile, it sounds nothing like it fits in the whole industrial thing. So I'm hoping there's a possible remix or maybe a stripped down version. I don't know. There needs to be some sort of like an industrial remix that you can kind of add to that. Maybe it'll fit in, but for now, I'm just like, I'm not feeling the fact of Die With A Smile being added to the record. You're only adding it on there because it was a bigger hit than Disease, but we'll see. So my question is for you guys, are you excited? And then, yeah, there was a video that she put out on her Instagram, but I posted on my page of like the announcement that was like an actual visual and stuff. People say, I'm dissecting everything. I'm like, okay, you have fun doing that. And let me know what you find out because I got a life. Sorry. I don't got time to be sitting there trying to dissect every little tidbit of visual that's she put on speed in that damn thing. But anyway, so I say all to say, what do y'all think it is? Are you guys excited for Mayhem Miller or Mayhem? I was thinking of Drag Race because somebody posted on Twitter. They were like, how Lady Gaga and her team came up with the album, and they were showing a clip of All Stars when they pulled out all of Mayhem's lipsticks, and that was like after the first episode, when they did the talent show, and her talent was a mess. Hers and Derek Barry's, both of theirs was a choice. They should have did a double chop, but it's All Stars. They wasn't going to do that. But then they were like Mayhem, Mayhem, and when they did that, I started laughing because I was like, that is actually funny. So y'all be clever up on them on the social media when it comes to stuff. So I say all this, like, what do y'all think of the album? Are you excited for the record? It was supposed to come out in February, but now it's coming out in March. Which I guess it makes sense because after Disease didn't do what needed to be done, I think that she went into crisis mode and they had to figure out, okay, what are we going to do? Because the first single didn't work. But hopefully there's hope for the second when that one airs during the Grammys on Sunday. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay. So Australia made it illegal for Elon and others to influence elections. Only local people and only Australian-born people, as they should. And we need to do that here too. It said Mayhem is already projected to debut with a 500K first sales week because of the combined sales of Die With A Smile, not Disaster. I said not Disaster. That's funny because maybe they should have single because Disease was a disaster when it came out. Nobody cared for it. It came and went like a wet fart. And it seemed like, the reaction people on YouTube, I was like, okay, y'all doing them. I had to turn some of them off because I'm like, okay, y'all ODing for the camera. Like, can y'all be honest about it? You want to know something? I was thinking, should I do a Patreon where I'm just reacting to people's albums, or should I just do like the regular? I just give y'all a full breakdown of what I thought of the album, the songs that I like or the songs I didn't like. I was going back and forth with that. So I'm not here for the Gaga era. Truthfully, I haven't cared about anything she's done since Art Pop Act 2 release for 2023 was scrapped. Child. Well, maybe she's kind of like at this point, besides the hardcore Gaga fans, like maybe a lot of people just don't care. It's that I know some devoted fans, and even they didn't know the title. So somebody saying months ago, exactly. That's why I say you full of shit, because nobody was saying Mayhem at all until a couple of days ago when I started hearing rumblings that that was going to be the title. And I was like, oh, it's confirmed. I said, just like my source told me it was confirmed. Oh, it was months ago. No, it wasn't. Because, child, I would have been talking about it months ago. Y'all know I have my ears to these streets. So, and I'm nosy. So, I don't know what they was talking about damn months ago. I was like, no, it wasn't. Nobody knew the title. Because Gaga's been working on this record for a while. So Gaga has always been at her best when she's embracing her weirder side. And that's what the Little Monsters love for her, which is also why we don't give any mind to Joey. Okay? Because that's not what people wanted. And I feel like she shied away from all that because y'all was making fun of her. Like they were saying she was, and I feel like I didn't reiterate that enough because of the over the top costumes and everything that she was doing. It was overshadowing the music. So I feel like she kind of shied away from the thing that made her the superstar that she is. So she started going off and doing the jazz, and she started doing, all that off kilter stuff. And her fans are like, "Oh, we don't want that shit," but they put up with it. And she probably incorporated newer fans who aren't familiar with her pop stuff, but like her jazz stuff. Like I'm sure if I played Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett's jazz album for my dad, he would like it because he's a jazz fan. But other than that, I so don't care. That ain't for me. I got no fan sent me the alleged track list. I sent it to you on Messenger. Hold on now, because let me look. I'm like, damn, don't tell me the track listing got leaked already. That's the first thing that popped up too. So you have, well, we'll see if this is the one. So they have, yeah, Disease is the opening track. Then there's a song called Abracadabra. What if that's actually the next single that she's about to drop? So if Sunday come and they say Abracadabra, I'm like, child, somebody done got the official thing. But anyway, but look, according to some of these, I will say this: the track list, the songs, they're all over 3 minutes. I'm shocked. This song's in here that's 4.5 minutes, 4 minutes, 4:18, 4:12. So I'm like, okay, let me find out. Gaga's like, fuck all these algorithms over on TikTok. But it was like, okay, so we got track 2 is Abracadabra, track 3, Garden of Eden, track 4, Perfect Celebrity, track 5, Vanish Into You, track 6, Killer featuring Gasafel Stein, track 7, Zombie Boy. Remember Zombie Boy? May he rest in peace. Track 8, Love Drug. Track 9, How Do You Want Me? On all fours. Track 10, Don't Call Tonight. Track 11, Shadow of a Man. Track 12, The Beast. Track 13, Blade of Grass. And track 14 will be Die With a Smile featuring Bruno Mars. So we'll see if this is the official track list when it drops next month, because they obviously we're gonna get it before then, right? So I also hate the album cover. I can't even look at it. Yeah, the album cover is meh. Him. That's gonna be my thing. Like I'm literally, what Juju B, I saw you a couple of weeks ago. Shout out to you. I'm about to use your line when it comes to if the album comes out. I'm be like, Mayhem is more like meh him. So that's gonna be my thing. I'm using. So I hope for Madonna's album. Wait, I hope for Madonna's album before my cruise in September. But she'll take the summer off, and I fear she'll be losing her father. So I know it's coming. Well, yeah, I think with Madonna, she should release the album later on in the year, and then in 2026 go on a tour. Beacon Rewind covered it. She got to be full on Hollywood. The Oscars 2015 was where she rejected Lady Gaga persona to be accepted because remember she said she wanted to be an actor, but the Little Monsters aren't here for Lady Gaga as an actress. That's why her films underperform in theaters. It sounds like Mayhem is a return to form, and her rejecting Hollywood is embracing Little Monsters. But here's the thing. I just don't see why she can't do both. Like, I feel like you shouldn't have to. First of all, I feel like why reject who you are to be to fit in with the Hollywood elite. If I'm going to be an actor, I'm going to go up in there, I'm going to do my lines, and I'm going to show y'all that I can act just as much as I can perform and sing or whatever, and prove these people wrong. But I'm not going to like turn my back on those very fans who helped me get where I am. I'm going to remain loyal to my hardest of hardcore fans. But I'm also, as an artist, do whatever I want. Meaning, like, if I'm a pop music fan and I want to go into different genres, I'm going to try different things. I don't want to just be doing the same type of record forever. You would drive yourself crazy doing that, sticking to one genre. But for her to just kind of like, oh, I'm just going to turn my back on those fans because I want to be accepted by these elites over here, it makes you come across as fake and pretentious. So, in a way, I'm kind of glad she's coming back to it as a return form. But yeah, I do feel like she needs to do better with that album cover. Like, to me, it's like she was kind of trying to do the Fame Monster, but the Fame Monster album cover, that was everything. You want to know something? I don't remember who I was talking. Oh, who was we talking to? Oh, it might have been in the Rebel Heart group chat. We was going through a whole situation of talking about Gaga and the whole era. We were talking about how like she fired everybody because of the whole Madonna comparisons. I really feel like when she was in the beginning of her element, she had the best team of people that was working with her. When she had Lori Ann Gibson and all of them up in there, it was like there was this great thing. And it was like, if you didn't want the Madonna comparisons, then maybe you should be like, you know what, let's focus less on that and let's come up with our own stuff and different ideas and take from inspiration from all these other places. But it's like she was so afraid of being called out as a Madonna wannabe that it's like, oh yeah, now if I get rid of all of y'all, then they won't give me those comparisons anymore. But she's still getting them. And when you look at a lot of what she does, it comes across as low budget versions of what she's already given or what she's giving. And it's just like, man, this can't be it. Because yeah, that album cover, it was mid to me. I'm like, girl, you can come better. You can come harder, especially on your 7th album. There was another photo that I saw because a friend of mine visited her page and sent me like a screenshot because he was saying that he wanted to buy. Wait, I'm on the wrong damn thing. That was the one about NLE Chopper posing for Playgirl. Where they have like the Mayhem store exclusive opaque silver vinyl. So it has the one where she's in black and white, and then they have the one where she literally looks like Marilyn Manson, where there's the blonde eyebrows and then the dark black, I mean, there's red and black lipstick and all this other stuff, which, yeah, she literally does look like Marilyn Manson in that picture. So I was like, I don't like neither one of them. She could have did so much better. Like, there's so many amazing people out here who she could have hooked up with that can give you like industrial type of fashions, as well as, you know, could have came up with something. I would have said she should have worked with Merton Marcus, but Madonna works with them. So I'll be like, nope, next. Don't work with them because then they're going to say, oh, here she go copying. Now, yes, on all fours like a cake top of bitch. But anyway. Okay, where we going? Oh, let's talk about the Grammys. So let's move on. Let's talk about that. So we was talking about Gaga earlier and how her next single is going to possibly premiere. Well, not possibly. She announced it. They're actually going to premiere her new song during the Grammys, and we're supposed to get a new music video and stuff that I guess is going to appear during a commercial break. So, in addition to that, we actually have the list of performers who are officially going to be performing at the Grammys on Sunday. So, according to Rolling Stone, they said that Billie Eilish, Charli XCX, and Shakira are going to be performing. Now, joining them will be most of the Best New Artist nominees, such as Chappell Roan, Sabrina Carpenter, Doechii, Ray, Benson Boone, and Teddy Swims. And it's funny because I literally just saw Teddy Swims the other day. He was in Celebrity Row at the Garden during a Knicks game. He was there. Chris Rock was there. Adam Sandler was there, which makes sense because right after the Knicks game, he probably took his behind over to SNL. So, you know, and so they were all there. And Teddy Swims was there and all other good stuff. So, so yeah, we have all of them. And I'm like, okay, I'm here for it. Like, I like Charli XCX, so it'll be interesting to see what song she performs. I like Shakira. Billie Eilish, I definitely loved her tour because I worked her tour, so she definitely is an amazing performer. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing, okay, what's Chappell Roan going to bring? Because the last time we saw her live in an award show was at the VMAs. Sabrina Carpenter, the same. Now, Doechii, I am obsessed with her. I've been obsessed with her long before she did her little stint at Drag Race. And I'm glad that her being on the recent episode, I mean, not recent episode, but on the second episode of Drag Race, definitely upped her cachet where people are like, oh, I like her music. So now the gays is all of a sudden, paying interest. She's piqued the interest of the homosexuals, I should say. So, and it's been announced a couple of days ago that yes, Trevor Noah is returning as the host. I believe that this will probably be the third or the fourth time that he's hosted, because I believe he hosted last year and the year before. So I think this might be his third time. I could be wrong, but I feel like this is his third time. But if he's done it more than three times, definitely let me know in the comments. Hell's wrong. I can't even talk today, apparently. So they said the ceremony is happening in the wake of ongoing devastating wildfires raging across Southern California. Now, earlier this month, the Recording Academy confirmed that the ceremony will go on as planned, but now be reimagined. So they said, in close coordination with local authorities to assure public safety and responsible use of arena resources or area resources, the 67th Grammy Awards telecast on CBS on Friday, the 2nd of February, will proceed as planned. Now, Recording Academy CEO Harvey Mason Jr. and Recording Academy Board of Trustees Chair Tammy Hurt wrote in a letter, this year's show, however, will carry a renewed sense of purpose, raising additional funds to support wildfire relief efforts and honoring the bravery and dedication of first responders who risk their life to protect ours. And yes, since we have a current president that don't want to do his goddamn job, then yeah, so now we all got to step in and do the charitable work. So I'm actually here for this. I wasn't really all that excited about who was performing, but so far I am. And it kind of makes me wonder. So, have we gotten confirmation that Taylor Swift is performing? Because she is being nominated for she's been nominated for a lot of Grammys. Also, is Beyonce performing? Because the only time you performed that Cowboy Carter stuff was when you did the Super Bowl. So, I do wonder if she's going to perform, because there's no way in hell that's the only list of people that's going to be performing at the Grammys. I would also like to see if they would allow, well, not allow, because that sounds like you gotta, it sounds a little wrong. They allow somebody, artists should be allowed to perform, period. Especially if you're being nominated. I would love to see Kylie Minogue perform, but she's getting ready to go on tour because, she has been nominated for a Grammy. Who else? I would love to have seen Troye Sivan. He was nominated for a Grammy, so I would love to have seen him perform. So I'm really hoping that we get a much more valid list of people, because with Charli XCX, Billie Eilish, and Chappell Roan, and Doechii, and Shakira, and Sabrina Carpenter, y'all can't, and Teddy Swims, and Benson Boone, and all the other ones I mentioned. It sounds like we only got 10 performers so far, and with the Grammys being a 3-hour damn telecast, there's no way in hell that is all who's performing. So, I'm not mad at this list so far. I like a lot of these artists that's on this list. I do hope that Beyonce will perform. And I'm genuinely curious to see Tay get up there and do her thing, even though I'm not a fan of Miss Swift. But I'm curious to see what she's going to bring so I can talk about it on the show. So I'll say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? And also, a lot of people's upset about the Grammys is happening and the Oscars is happening. And it's like, what would you want them to do? Because first of all, at the end of the day, they could cancel this year, but then they can cancel it next year, and the year after that, and the year after that. The show still has to go on, but LA will still look like the damn, landmine that it is. So you canceling a celebrity event doesn't hold off the situation of, there's a situation that we have to deal with in LA right now. And as these crazy wildfires, a lot of people lost their homes. There's a lot of damage that's been done in these areas, and it's going to take years, not just a year or two. It's going to take years. It's going to take a while for them to rebuild those parts of Los Angeles that were burned to the ground. So does that mean like we have to, the world has to stop because these places are burned to the ground? Like, to me, that doesn't make sense. What makes sense is that we have a government situation that will help try to rebuild these destroyed areas, or these areas that have been affected by wildfires. And the real issue that we need to be dealing with in this country, and that's climate change. The climate is screwed up. And this is why we're getting these crazy wildfires in LA. It's why it's snowing in Florida, which when have y'all ever seen snow fall down in Florida? But now it's snowing out there. So clearly you cannot sit up here and say we do not have an issue with our climate. So you climate deniers can, keep pulling denials and things and all kinds of craziness out your behind. It's not going to negate the fact that, you keep denying it, you're going to see the world turn into a bigger mess, and we're going to have more issues. Bigger tornadoes, crazy snowstorms, gusty winds, and things of that nature. So whatever your thoughts are on this whole situation regarding the Grammys, which I'm actually excited to watch now that they've announced some of these performers. And they're going to give a good show. So let me know what and the ladies are dominating, apparently. Outside of Teddy Swims and Benson Boone, sexy behind. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Yeah, I was like, I saw Benson Boone up close. I was like, Let me stop being a pervert. Robert says not only 7th studio album, but as her 7th solo album. So it's technically your 9th or 10th because it's the solo studio album that gets me. But, she always tries to come across with different, like the numbers be confusing in regards of what she says in regard of how many albums. So it's like you're not counting the jazz stuff along with all the other stuff you're doing. So my brain be hurting trying to do all them damn numbers that she be trying to come out. I want Charli to release another single, especially because the Brat era is going on until it is. Though I heard it's going to be going into the summer too. Like she's doing another tour, so she's really pushing this Brat era. But I do feel like maybe we need more Brat. We need a little more Brat in our lives, more new music. Because it's like, at this point, it's like you're not even releasing songs anymore. Now it's just I'm just touring. Which is where the money's at. And she's talking about how she's tired, her body hurts, and all this other stuff because the way she performs, she throws herself around a lot. Oh, okay. Well, damn. It's been since 2021. I didn't know this would be his 5th year, according to Felix. So he's been doing this since 2021. Maybe I just haven't really been paying attention, but I do agree. You said I'm bored and not entertained. Yeah, he's kind of just there. But I guess with him, he's just a safe host. That's why, like, you know what? Ever since Nikki Glaser did her thing on the Golden Globes, I'm hearing like now the Golden Globe people said they want her back again next year, and I'm like, was it? No, it's this year because I just forgot we're in 2025. So the the Emmys just happened, didn't they? Or is it? I forget because I feel like we've been having the way that what do you call it? Like there was something that happened. The writer's strike and all other stuff, they kind of been delaying them. So they kind of faltered into each other. So now I'm confused as to when the Emmys even happen anymore. Because normally it used to happen in like September, or the Golden Globes. They used to happen like in September and stuff. But I feel like we just had the Golden Globes. So yeah, they want her to come back for the next Golden Globes that they do. We have too many damn award shows. I said, we're still waiting for the announcement. Wait, what announcement? Oh, Beyonce. Okay. The announcement of no announcement. The non-announcement announcement. Taylor hasn't performed at an award show since the 2020 CMAs. Lord, oh yeah, because she'd rather just be in the audience, twerking and throwing her arms out like she in VIP at the club whenever somebody get up on stage and perform. So she'd rather be the fan than perform. And you know why I ain't mad? She's like, the only time you'll get a performance out of me is if you pay for it on a tour. I'm not giving y'all a freebie. And at this point, she don't need to give one because what does she need to prove? Beyonce. Taylor Swift pretty much has her built-in audience. Like she don't have to do nothing for nobody. She's like, she has her fans in the palm of her hand. So she don't need to get up on the stage and do something, I guess. So I just saw Sabrina Carpenter did a commercial for Versace. I'm trying to remember if I saw that. Oh, so yeah, she's been around for a long time. I'm buying chicken this weekend so I can get my eggs for chicken. Well, you know what? You probably need to follow like Sunny Hostin. Sunny Hostin got a bunch of damn chickens, and that's how she get hers. I feel like that's what we all need to do at one point. It's like I think there was somebody that I saw on TV that was doing that. They said that when they lived in the hood, they had like their own little garden they built in the neighborhood, so that way people can get vegetables and eggs and all kinds of other stuff. And I feel like that's the way we need to go now. People need to get back into gardening. And I think that's what people need to do. If you're a homeowner, I feel like people need to get back into gardening, plant your tomatoes, your fruits, your vegetables, all of that stuff. Get you some chickens. If I had the dollars, in the words of Pepper LaBeija, trust and believe, Chris would have himself a farm. And I would be out here doing my, like, well, I would hire some people to do all of that because ain't no way in hell I'm doing any farming. But I would have my own little farm where it's like I got my own fruits and vegetables and my own eggs and milk and all other stuff. Because I'm like, ain't no way in hell I'm paying all that damn money for, and then y'all keep raising the prices. I'd rather just do it on my own. I hope. Wait, who's that? Has the chops to represent her corrupt? Oh, Sonny. Well, I don't think she can represent him. She was a former. Well, I don't know if she's done other form of prosecuting, but I remember she said she's a former sex crime prosecutor. So yeah, she'd be the lawyer for, if she was to ever be on an episode of Law and Order SVU. So um So I don't think she could be able to handle like federal crime cases or whatever the case is. So they have an attorney they have an attorney that's handling that case. Well, that's interesting. You said I've had chickens for 4 years now. I did not know that you own chickens. You live on a farm? I'm like, shoot, send me some eggs. And I'm like, chickens, they got to be fun to have, especially like you could just, have your pick of the litter when you want to eat some eggs. Because that's the one thing I know I have a habit of. I eat too many eggs. I just love eggs. Like I like to make my little omelet with some cheese, and I like the salsa and all the other stuff. Robert says, wait, what? Oh, you said number 2, his deportation is like a reality show. Number 3, the way he just destroyed God. Well, look, I already heard that mess about how I just can't with that idiot right now. Oh yeah, I saw that she did a stand-up routine. And a lot of people was getting annoyed. Well, I'll probably say that story for tomorrow because I did see that, and I was literally about to go live when I saw it. So I was like, "There's no way in hell I'm adding that to the show." So I'll say that for tomorrow's show. But in the meantime, now speaking of award shows, let's go from one to another, and let's now talk about the Brit Awards. So I think the Brit Awards were announced. I didn't really get to gloss over who was nominated, but I found this story interesting because we normally talk about Liam Payne on the show. And they're basically saying that the word on the curb is that he's going to be given a special tribute at the Brit Awards. And this is according to UK media outlets, which I actually think is a good idea because One Direction, even though they were worldwide, they built them in Britain. And they're a huge UK boy band. So why not pay tribute to him? He passed away last year. The Brit Awards is this year. And I feel like that it would be only appropriate that y'all would give him a proper send off in the form of a tribute. So, according to the U.S. Sun, they said that this also could mean that his former bandmates, Harry Styles, Niall Horan, Zayn Malik, and Louis Tomlinson, could reunite on stage for the first time since they split as a group 10 years ago. And sidebar, Zayn, I love you. You are so cute to look at, the tattoos and everything. Like, I love me some Zayn Malik. I need you to give up them damn cigarettes. I just saw a picture of him like he was puffing on a damn cigarette like his life depended on it. It's like, not that happened, but at least you still got good vocals, though, because he could sing. So they basically said a music industry source said the following. They said, end quote, the tribute to Liam at this year's award show has caused a real buzz and speculation that the remaining One Direction bandmates could finally come back together again on stage. It could be an entirely fitting way to honor Liam, and talks are already underway about how to make this segment of the Brits unforgettable. Liam loved the Brit Awards and attended and performed many times over the years, both with 1D and as a solo artist, and will forever be a part of the show's history. They also say it's still in the very early stages of preparation and the finer details are still being worked out, with official approaches to be made in coming weeks. But there are said to be a mixture of performances, tasteful photo and video montages, and a live orchestra. So now they said, as well as a possibility of the One Direction lads being involved, other stars from the industry will be on hand to remember Liam on that night. On the night. Now, as you already know, Liam died at age 31 in October after falling from a hotel balcony in Argentina's capital, Buenos Aires. And you already know they um arrested like 5 people. They even charged his friend, saying that, well, you should have been looking over him. But then he filed against Liam's father, saying that he's pretty much been defaming him and saying like, I'm not his guardian, so therefore I should. Why am I being dragged raked over the coals? But I'm not his keeper. I'm not his babysitter. But then then they also gave they had the funeral, and that was the last time that the bandmates were seen together. That was back in November. The service was attended by his ex, Cheryl Tweedy. I guess that's what she's going by now, who is mom to the 7-year-old son, Bear. Well, their son. Other mourners that were there were members of Girls Aloud, Kimberly Walsh and Nicola Roberts. And then they also had Simon Cowell was there. Well, you saw him break down at one point. He was the boss of the X Factor. Now, this year's Brits will take place at London's O2 Arena on March 1st and will be hosted by comic Jack Whitehall. So, never really get to. I mean, I know like when they do the Brits, they normally air it on YouTube as a live stream, and then afterwards, it's like they take it disappears, they take it off or whatever. So I definitely want to check it out and just see like if they do the tribute and all the other performers that's going to be there and stuff. So I'm genuinely curious to see what that's going to happen. But yeah, March 1st, which is a Saturday, they will definitely be airing the Brits at London's O2 Arena, which is where they always have it. But they said that the last time, well, Liam actually he won 7 Brits with One Direction, performing at the event twice with the band and twice as a solo act. They also said that the last time they held a tribute was in 2016, which was a David Bowie tribute. And then it was introduced by Annie Lennox with a tribute speech by Gary Oldman, the actor, who I don't even think he's ever won an Oscar. That's another one who deserves a damn Oscar. Maybe this year he'll get one. Isn't he nominated? I gotta look. I can't remember. There's so many nominations out this year. I can't remember if Gary Oldman was up for a nomination. But they said that Bowie's band performed a medley of some of his biggest hits before Lorde performed Life on Mars. So, which I don't want to ask Lady Gaga. Yeah, that was a dig. So, I'm definitely curious to see this whole situation. Hopefully, they do a tribute because he was a Brit darling, and a lot of people, he was hugely popular over in the UK. One Direction was huge over there. They won a lot of Brit awards. He won some Brits as a solo act. They appreciate him over there. So I would love to see them do some sort of a tribute. I mean, I remember that they did one with Rita Ora. Wasn't that the MTV Europe Music Awards? I didn't really get to see that one, but I know they did a tribute and stuff over there for him there. But I don't remember exactly what, like I said, I don't know what the tribute was because I didn't get to see it, unfortunately. And by the time I got around to want to watch it, it was out of sight, out of mind. So I totally forgot until just now when I mentioned it. And that's been months ago. So I'm definitely curious to see what they're going to do with this. And hopefully they follow through and this story turns out to be true and they actually do give him a tribute. So I ask all of you guys, what do you think of this story? Do you think that the Brit Awards are going to actually pay tribute to um oh my God. Why was I about to say Liam Hemsworth to Liam Payne? We're not going to kill Miley ex-husband, yeah. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. I am literally stumbling over my words today. It's hilarious though. But I'm glad. One of the things I'm glad about is y'all don't beat me up over it. I know there was one YouTuber that was saying that, one of the things about y'all, because he was doing this, I can't remember his name, but he was doing a video on AOC going in on, now we're going to the political talk. He was going on AOC going in on, people who are defending Elon Musk doing the Nazi salute, the Sig Heil. And he was saying that that's what Democrats need. You need that person that knows how to turn on a phone, that knows how to speak to the people, because hello, part of being a politician is communication. So you have to be able to communicate your words to people. And one thing, whether you agree with her politics or not, AOC is very good at putting her phone on and really talking to the American people and emoting and expressing her situation without having to read a script. And he said that sometimes people be getting on him because he trips over his words. And I'm like, First of all, I truly feel like that makes you even more authentic and natural if you could just be like, I'm literally coming here without a script and I'm literally speaking to you with stuff, whatever's coming out of my head is coming out of my mouth. And I'm really speaking to you as an authentic person. So you're getting the real me rather than, or I'm sitting there reading stuff. The only time I read stuff is if I'm reading an article. So that way y'all get all the details of the story. And then I give y'all my off script opinion, which I feel like more people should get into that. Why would you want somebody that's heavily scripted? Like, that doesn't make sense to me. So, for you other content creators out there, continue to trip over your words. Who cares? So what? Who cares? In the words of Joy Bay. So, wait, now, before we get to this Camila Cabello story, let's see what the people in the comments are saying. You said, yeah, she did a half-hour set and the audience was gagged. She was there. And funnily enough, Madonna always wanted to, she's always said that she wanted to do a little stand-up. So she got there and told her little jokes. And remember when didn't she kind of do a little comedy routine or whatever when she was doing Tears of a Clown? So I think she's always wanted to, not Mother Gaston, Mother Gaston, which is in Brooklyn. Of course, it's got to be a Brooklyn reference in there somewhere. Congratulate on her two well-earned Brit Award nominations for. Okay, so well, thank you for letting me know somebody who was nominated. Yeah, and I got a Jade story later on when we get to the homosexual news. He said the only Little Mix member to get nominated as a group member and a solo act was not Jesse, not Jesse Nelson getting astray. And he said the most mixers admit Jesse ruined her career as a solo act with Bad Boys and how she handled the controversy. Well, look, now she can go off and be a mother to them twins when she give birth to them. So, is Fuse even still around? Because I know, like, they show Big Frida's reality show on Fuse. I'm like, I don't even know what Fuse is on my TV. But the Big Frida reality series is on Wow Presents Plus. So that's how I was watching it. Ooh, excuse me. Not me yawning on camera. They're showing another Diddy documentary on IG. I thought it came out already. Or was I wrong? Because I did see that there was a lot of stories making the rounds where Diddy's people came out and refuted the claims that's in the ID channel video. Excuse me, on the ID network video, which I'm sure it's going to be on Max. And they were talking about like strict details, or they were bringing out explicit details about the D Wood stuff and how there's footage of him yelling at her. So I'm gonna definitely check Max tonight. I'll probably watch it so that way tomorrow when I come on, I'll have, I'll be able to talk about it. But I thought it came out yesterday because then I saw all the reports coming out about it. Unless what happens is, and then this happens a lot, media gets a hold of stuff early and like literally the day before, a couple of days before, they'll start giving you tidbits of what to expect. Because they did that with the last Diddy doc that I watched, the one that was on Peacock. They started revealing like little details and stuff that what you could expect from it with Albie Shore talking and all this other stuff. And then I was sitting there watching it. I'm like, I felt like I didn't learn anything. I mean, I'm like, could have been that they spoiled it, or is it that I've already known a lot of this stuff that they were talking about over the years? So you didn't provide me with nothing new. I'm gonna definitely check it out, but I wonder if they're gonna do it like they did the one with the Nickelodeon where they only unleashed 2 episodes this week and then 2 episodes next week, because I think it's a 4-parter if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I'm gonna try to watch that tonight among all the other things I'm trying to catch up. Controversy because it's about Girls Aloud has a global fan base, and it's unfair that the show was a UK exclusive. It needs to be worldwide because we would like a US tour, and that show was getting a huge exposure. I do agree. If Girls Aloud was to announce that they were going to do a show, and I feel like if they do a show, if they do Radio City at one of them events, trust and believe, Chris is getting himself a ticket, and I'm going because I know a lot of the Girls Aloud songs. So it's not like I'm like one of these others. I only know 3 songs. No, I know a lot of the Girls Aloud discography. I work out to their music at the gym. I'm constantly listening to their music when I'm on the train. Although this weekend it was just FKA Twigs all around. It was FKA Twigs and Bad Bunny. That's who I was pretty much like listening to. Oh, and then also there was another girl, Rose Gray. I don't know if y'all heard of her. She's a UK pop act. She does like dance music as well. I was listening to her album too, and I was like living. she's like, she talked about how she had Robin and a whole bunch of other artists as their influences. And if you mention the key names of people, and then like Madonna and so much other people that she was, but of course, Madonna's always the blueprint when it comes to dance and pop and that sort of thing. So I was listening to her album over the weekend and I was living too. A lot of people releasing good music this year so far, and we're only in January. Oh, so it's not out yet. So as we said, they're doing a countdown. So then there was the media pretty much just revealing stuff because the Daily Mail was spilling a whole lot of tea. If they cuss at us, we cuss at them back. They never go high; they go low. This double standard bullshit is hurting us. So I love you, Michelle, but you curse us for life. Meanwhile, she the one. She thought when they go low, we go high. But she kept her ass home when it came down to the inauguration and a bunch of other stuff. So you don't practice what you preach, says this is the hypocrisy for me. And then people in the comments, because they was going in on Charlemagne, because Charlemagne went and said something on the show, and the people were dragging him. I saw this on the Neighborhood Talk. That's how I know about it. Because y'all already know I don't care for the Breakfast Club unless like it was the Wendy situation, and I literally sat and watched it. Well, listened to it because she was on the phone. But he was pretty much saying something like, why y'all mad at Snoop and all of them for performing? But you wasn't mad at the politicians who were hobnobbing with Trump at the funeral for Jimmy Carter. And a lot of people was in the comments saying because they're politicians, so they're gonna take the higher road in a lot of situations. They're not gonna sit up in there and be petty. But sometimes you gotta meet people where they're at. I'm like, well, why can't we do both? Why can't you just kind of like ignore the fascist in chief? He comes in the room, and all of a sudden, everybody stands up and they go above and beyond for Trump. It's sort of like, okay, I'll show my respect. I'll say, hey, how you doing? But let's not all of a sudden act like we're going to have a big old conversation. The man actually said that you're not even an American citizen to Barack Obama. You sitting there next to him, kikiing and laughing like y'all good Judies that ain't seen each other in years. But y'all sitting there having a good, so it doesn't look right in the eyes of the public, especially the people who are anti-Trump, who don't like him, and rightfully so, because he does a lot of things that makes him not a likable human being. So, especially with the overall racism, misogyny, transphobia, all the other stuff that he goes after anybody who isn't white and male. So I can totally understand, but why you sitting there, having a full-on conversation and laughing at his buffoonery? And talking about, well, it's because, he's just being respectful. Okay, Uncle Ruckus, you keep doing what you're doing. And I'm talking about those who like to make those excuses too. But I was told the set was very anti-Trump, and I'm like, typical Madonna. Yeah, she don't like Trump, and she's always made it known that she is anti-establishment or anti, bigot or hate and all this other stuff. And you're spewing hate, yeah, she's going to say that. And I don't even think she cares at this point if she loses points. The woman has been in the business for 40 years. Y'all can't get rid of her. She'll always sell out tours. So I'm excited for this year's Brits. I wonder if they'll give the Viv a tribute. That would be interesting to do, especially since there were some celebrities that actually showed up to her funeral, which is a story we're going to get into later on in the show. But speaking of the show, let's get back into the show and let's talk about Camila Cabello, who can't seem to get a damn break. So not only did the CXOXO era flop hard, and none of y'all is checking for her music, so it seemed like she could have used some of those people that only know one or two of her songs to show up to her arena show, because according to some photos that I saw, a lot of y'all didn't go see her perform. And I got the pictures, but let's get into the actual topic. So she found herself trending for less than ideal reasons after the image of the singer performing in a nearly empty State Farm arena went viral. Now, they said the singer performed in a nearly empty venue in Atlanta, Georgia on Sunday, and wild photos of the show have gone viral on Twitter. They said their ish was empty. One local media user tweeted the following day, blasting the former Fifth Harmony member 27 as a flop. Well, why they gotta be a hater? They said the same haters shared a screenshot over the weekend showing that just around 30% of the tickets had sold out to the State Farm Arena show. Another troll asked, true question, why do some singers do this? If you know you can't sell arenas, why do them? Isn't it just an extra cost for no reason and embarrassment? Now, some, however, did come to Camila's defense for still taking the stage, including Mod Sun. So yeah, they're saying, well, look, at least she actually showed up and performed at the nearly empty arena. And kudos to her. But like the person said before, and I've said this many times, why do that to her? Why embarrass her in that way? She is not an arena artist. Quiet as it's kept, Camilla's career ain't really popping like that. So y'all should have had her in a smaller venue. Like she could have did the theater at Madison Square Garden instead of doing, well, for example, she hasn't done the Garden, but don't book her for the Garden, book her for the theater. The theater has 5,000 seats. That's how many we can, that's the cap of what we can put in there. You want to know how many seats we got in the Garden? 19,000. She ain't filling 19,000 seats. She ain't filling the floor, the 100s or the 200s or even the bridge, which is the 400s. Well, no, that's the 300. The 400s is the ninth floor. The bridge is the 10th floor. I know the way it's set up, it's a little weird, but I'm only trying to tell you how it is. So, yeah, I agree. Y'all should have had her there or do a Radio City. I don't know how many seats are in Radio City. But I'm like, yeah, if she's going to do an event, have her do that or Webster Hall or something another. Like Camila Cabello, yeah, she has a couple of songs or whatever, and she's moderately popular, but she's not an arena selling artist. Why would y'all do that to her? I feel like her team set her up for failure. But word on the street is she got a billionaire boyfriend, but look, sis, if you go out and you get knocked up by that man, you'll get some coins. You'll be set for life. If this music thing don't work out, but look, I give her A for effort for still pushing through, even though her career is not doing what needs to be done. So this Mod Sun person, who I have no idea who he is, said 99% of the artists would have canceled the show and put out a mental health statement. I mean, that's a fact. A lot of y'all say, or like, what was Jennifer Lopez's excuse? She said, I have to go, I want to go spend time with my family and friends. Girl, that was by force. Because you know damn well you didn't want to spend time with them twins and your friends. You didn't want egg on the face. You had to come up and say, well, these tickets ain't selling. So therefore, the rebrand didn't help. After they was like, oh, hell no, you're not going to try to sell us This Is Me Now as no damn tour. We don't want to hear them songs. Quiet as it's kept, we don't even like you singing ballads. You should have stuck to the rivers and the lakes that you used to. And here go Camila with this album, trying to do the whole, I don't know what she was going for with this record. It just did not feel like it was authentically her. The Charli XCX hyperpop type sound that you were trying to go into this urban girl type situation, and people were rubbed the wrong way with Camila because the racist things she's been caught saying out there in the past. So I don't think people have still taken a foot off her neck regarding that stuff. So yeah, some people's like a real performer loves her audience no matter the number. Another claim she's in it for the long run. Y'all don't get it. Well, look, I love the fact, I will say this, like, I'm not going to go too hard on her, even though I did kind of throw in a couple of reads, but I wouldn't be me if I didn't. But one of the things I will say about her is that I actually appreciate the fact that even though that, and I trust and believe, when I walk out there and I see my audience look at that, my ego would have been bruised a little bit. It really would have. But I do like the idea at the end of the day, regardless of the size of the audience, she still went out there and she was a trooper and she put on a show. She didn't cancel, being like, well, damn, I ain't selling no tickets. So now we got to give refunds or whatever the case is. I don't care if it's 5 people or 5,000 people. I'm still going to perform for them. But I feel like what y'all should stop doing is booking artists who you know are not arena artists for arena shows. Stop doing that. She's not at a place in her career where she's big enough that she can do those events. So stop setting these artists up for failure. And I've been noticing like a lot of these, we've been talking about this so many times on this show. Like I'm literally exhausted talking about it. That the fact of like how y'all been doing that to a lot of people and it's been causing them to cancel shows. And as much as I love Charli XCX and Troye Sivan, they were struggling a little bit with them arena tour ticket dates too. Because they're not, yeah, what Brat era and all that other stuff was going on. It was cute or whatever, but they're not big enough to be selling these arenas too. And I heard like after they did like 25, what was it, 25 dates, they only made like $27 million. That ain't really like a whole lot in regards to $27 million and have to split that between 2 people and paying all the people back that was a part of the crew. So what else did they say on this story? Because I'm ready to get up off this. Oh, so they also said that the instance wasn't what it seemed because this wasn't a concert open to the public. An insider told Daily Mail, because that's who spilled the tea on this story, that Cabello was performing for a corporate event and only a few tickets were sold to the public. Cabello, who headlined the show along with Miles Smith and Knox opening, gushed over her faithful followers after all. Well, I don't know who the hell Knox is, and I don't know who Miles Smith is. The Miles Smith name does sound familiar, though. But I'm like, you're doing a corporate event. First of all, if it's a corporate event, why would you do that in an arena? Unless it was like, what do you call it? If you're doing an arena event, I mean, and unless you're doing it for like investors or something or another, like I don't understand like how you would have had that in the arena. If that's the case, you could have had it on a smaller venue. Because if it's a corporate event with a couple of corporate people, how many people are in corporate that you need to be performing for where it needs to be in an arena type situation? So I don't know if I'm necessarily buying that excuse. So that she said, being a fan is a transformative and creative and sacred endeavor. This is what she wrote in a lengthy Instagram caption on Monday. And the artist who gives to their community also gets in the form of love, inspiration, and trust. So now, I totally forgot about this. They said she was nominated for a Grammy. So the Grammy nominee went on to write about how honored she feels to have fans, calling it one of the sweetest relationships she's known. Now, Cabello's career took off in 2012, but she competed on X Factor with her fellow Fifth Harmony members, Ali Brooke, Normani, Dinah Jane, and Lauren. I don't know how the hell you say her last name, so I don't ever try. So since she left the group in 2016, she has gone on to release 4 solo albums, best known for Havana, Senorita, and other singles. And then in 2018, they announced a definite hiatus, so they're not getting back together because that's what that means. But they say indefinite, they ain't getting the fuck back together. I don't know why they try to make it like, oh yeah, we're taking a break. No, bitch, just say y'all broke up and y'all not getting back together. I hate when all the groups do it because it ain't just Fifth Harmony. A lot of the groups do it. Even One Direction was somebody was going to take a hiatus. They wasn't taking no hiatus. They broke up. So I was trying to count on my fingers. I was like, okay, so from 2016, where she went and released, when did she come out with her solo albums or whatever? Because they said she left the group in 2016. I think like 2017, her music might have came out. So in a 7-year period, 7.5 minutes, because now we're in 2025, in a 7.5 minute period, she really thought she was going to sell out an arena. So you say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story? Are you actually buying that excuse that this was a corporate event? I don't know if I believe that. And then they said only a few tickets were sold to the fans. If she had a lot of fans, I think a lot of them would have showed up and then wouldn't have been spaced out. I'll even let you in on a little secret because they got people in the 100s. And I see all up in the high areas. I see people spread out. That would have been so embarrassing if I was there performing. And it's just like a little bit of people, and you got people in the pit. Sometimes when we need to fill up, make it look like seats is being sold at the Garden, you'll see some of the managers that walk around to the 200s and they'll come over, or they'll have people in the guest services situation that'll come over to people and be like, oh, we want to move y'all down to the 100s and all this other stuff so that way you get a closer seat and whatever. So they go through the thing and pick certain people that they want to put down there because those 100 areas, that's like the most important in the floor. Those are the most important areas that they care about fulfilling. And they want to give the illusion that it looks full. So they'll put people down there. They'll actually upgrade you to seats. It's a little inside tea. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story in regards to Camila Cabello performing in a near empty arena? And they trying to use the excuse that it was a corporate event. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Child, I was like, I forgot because it was just a cackle reading that. But anyway, child, we got a lot of comments, so please hold. Boom, boom, boom. Oh yeah. Oh, you said J Lo Jr. Okay. Normani could fill an arena with more people. Ooh, I mean, quiet as it's kept. Camila and Normani is solid proof time for a Fifth Harmony reunion tour. Yeah, I ain't feeling Camila. Camila Cabello, not Camila Cabello. I'm like, wait a minute, Daddy's Home Media. I'm like, we do adult cinematography. It's after her whole mocking of black folks, especially black women, while a whole black woman was in the group with her. Exactly. And her being a bully and a troll. So I feel like she's still trying to do a rebrand, but it ain't help. That looks the audience of my concert in Janet Jackson in 2017. I met her docuseries and award shows helped her sell out shows now. Cyndi Lauper wasn't sold out this tour, but 85% full. Maybe Cyndi should have did smaller venues too. Yeah, I don't ever understand that. It's like you got 64 million followers on Instagram, but you in a city and you pretty much can't get all them people to show up. So it kind of makes you wonder. It's like people just follow people for the sake of following them on social media, or that you probably got like hate followers, and they won't come and support you when you're actually out there, making money. Makes me think of the picture of Candy Muse at the empty club. Wait, there was a picture of Candy Muse at the empty club. She didn't wait. Nobody came to see her. Where was I when that went down? It doesn't matter if it was a corporate event or not. The internet is already trolling her over it. Exactly. Its perception is. And the person that snapped the picture, they were like, child, first of all, this ain't no damn corporate event. They were like, they're going to try to spin it as something else. I'm like, first of all, if it was a corporate event, they probably would have been like, it's a private situation. And there probably would have been no photography or whatever allowed. But then again, you saw people literally holding up their phones, recording, taking pictures, and all that other stuff. So I'm not buying the whole corporate event story. People think Kylie Minogue will perhaps perform to Camila Cabello type crowds, but won't cancel, but might be her last US tour. So go big. She's afraid it's too late to move to small theaters, but because lots of markets are near sold out. Well, yeah, and you know what? They'll find ways to sell out those shows. I'm actually worried. You know what I'm worried for too? And I want to be gagged to be proven wrong. Dula Peep, like she's doing 4 nights at the Garden in September, and I'm like, is Dula Peep that big enough of an artist that she could do 4 nights at an arena? Kylie's only doing 2. But if like due to the overwhelming demand of the first concert, first of all, she ain't gonna have no problem in New York. You know, the homosexuals, they love this from Kylie. So they gonna come out and support. So you ain't gotta worry about her. But in New York, but I do worry, like as you were saying, in other areas, a lot of the markets aren't sold out, but they'll do what they need to do. They'll drop those tickets to a cheap price. They'll probably find people like, you wanna go see a freak show tonight or whatever. Just take these tickets, go to the thing, and then because we do physical tickets sometimes, especially when we're upgrading in certain situations or doing seat removal. Well, not seat removals, but when we're moving you to a different part of the arena. Well, it's going to be mostly a homosexual audience at her shows. I'm sure there will be drag queens dressed like her in different eras. Looking forward to seeing that. I'm trying to remember when I saw her for Me For You, but that was so long ago. Y'all can expect me to remember when, what was going on at that show. I remember some of the performances, but I remember trying to remember. It was like, were there drag queens in the audience? I'm sure there probably, in the crowd, I'm sure there was. I just know it was a lot of people I knew from the community that were there. A lot of muscle girls. So I read Black people are done helping other communities because nobody helps them. So they're no longer voting because after Kamala lost, they asked, is it okay to be racist to white people and throw it back? Well, I always say people of color cannot be racist because one has to be an oppressor in order to be racist. So I do think that people of color can be prejudiced, but not racist. White people, yes, y'all can be racist. Y'all the foundation of racism. So, well, not all of you, just those of you who do be racist. But people of color, Black folks, I believe you can be prejudiced. It says she released her first debut in 2018, her second at the end of 2019, and then the Tumblr account situation happened. Um, I wonder who dug that up and did that full reveal, finding out about her Tumblr past. She doesn't have the catalog to do an arena. Exactly, because you only have like 4. You have 4 records, but just because you got 4 records, that is not enough to do a full arena type situation. But then again, um, Olivia Rodrigo only has 2 records, and she was able to do um on arena tour, but that's because she's a big star and she had an opening act. So she hasn't had a hit since 2019. There's no Latina pop girls. I wish there was. I mean, besides Shakira, she's the only one. And I guess Carol G, but they're all Spanish speaking. Like when we talk about that crossover girl, um, yeah, she's not giving it. And even Jennifer Lopez, like if she even talking about trying to get back into music, which I'm sure she is, she's got to be able to serve it there too. Who knows? Maybe this Kiss of the Spider Woman movie, and I did see some of the shade y'all was throwing regarding her performance. From the Roman, because I did do a story on that earlier. She got a standing ovation at Sundance, where some people are talking about, will Hannah maybe this will rehabilitate or revive her music career if she does when she does Kiss of the Spider Woman. So I'm curious to see what this movie is. I saw she did an interview with the Hollywood Reporter actually. With it was her, the director Bill Condon, and then the one of the stars of Kiss of the Spider Woman. I struggle trying to pronounce his name. I don't know if it's Tonataya, Tonacia. I don't know what his name is. First of all, I thought that was Nacia Lopez when I first saw it. And if I'm let me find out Nacia Lopez is acting now. I mean, I did see Nacia Lopez do some acting in this YouTube queer series that's on it's on YouTube. And when she guest starred in that, but I was like, I don't know how to say his damn name, but it was like some femme queen Latin boy who's playing in Kiss of the Spider Woman, along with Diego Luna. I'm sure the Kylie show is seeing. I'm seeing Miami will be full or close to it. Exactly, because a lot of those cha-cha queens that is in Miami are going to be up in there watching Miss Kylie. Especially, the circuit queens, the cha-cha queens, or trust and believe they're gonna be at that Kylie concert in Miami. Shout out to the Miami girls. As a LA is asking for. You gotta be out your goddamn mind. Anyway, in hell, I'm paying $700. That's why I told her I'm so glad I work in the garden. Why pay $700 to go to a concert when I can see it for free? And I cannot tell you how many people come up to me when I'm working and they're like, "You are so lucky. You got the best seat in the house." I say, "I sure do." And I don't have to pay for it. The concerts, I don't have to pay for if I work a Knicks and the Rangers game or any of the events that we have to do. It's just like, yeah, you get the best seat in the house because it's like it's extremely expensive. Like who has $700? Not just for Kylie Minogue, for anybody. Like that's crazy. And I'm sure she's going to give a full on show. But who knows? She might change everybody's mind once them videos start leaking on YouTube of what the show looks like. Based on what you see at your job, are there any musical acts that are actually worth leaving the house for? I always hate when people put me on the spot for that because they do that to me at work. And I'll be like stumbling. I'm like, damn, I've seen so many shows, I forget. I know a lot of people hate working the Fish concert, but the Fish concert was on a whole nother level. It's probably because of all them damn drugs everybody was doing up in there. And the crowd was pretty cool. So I didn't mind working the Fish concert. Everybody else hates it. I guess because of the older people don't like weed and the smell. It don't bother me. But the people were entertaining there. The Olivia Rodrigo show was good. I know a lot of people didn't like Melly Martinez. I like Melly Martinez show because she was so damn weird. The Sweat tour was good. I like working that. What else? Who else before? I actually liked the Creed concert. That was actually a good one too. So there was some that was actually worth getting up out of the house. But I mean, there were good shows. But in regards of like getting out of the house, like really excited to go say, oh yeah, you know what? Another one was a good one too. The damn, what was it called? The Queens of R&B tour with SWV and Escape. That was a good one too. I think I saw my cousin at that show too. She was in the upper wheelchair section. Not that she is crippled, but a lot of people buy those wheelchair sections because it's a lot of room. They got like this little balcony, and then they have like you can stretch your legs out because those. I tell you, when I tell you them arena chairs are so damn uncomfortable. A lot of people prefer to get the wheelchairs, and then they feel bad because they're like, "Well, people with a wheelchair." I'm like, "I should get this." I'm like, "It don't matter. We'll find places for them to go." Like we always find a way to put them in, but I know a lot of people end up feeling bad about buying those seats. He said the pass came up in 2017, but Simon was able to stop it from exploding this time. In 2019, Simon couldn't because they did screenshots and stuff to know that they were playing chess, not checkers. Oh, you're talking about Camila. that back in the day they were able to put a kibosh on it, but then people had the screenshots and the evidence, and you already know how it is when it comes to Reddit and all this other stuff. How the exposure, you know, once they catch you out there with the screenshots and the proof and all the stuff, your fate has been sealed. And it's funny how they still pushing for her, but it's just like her career and in so many ways hasn't recovered. But then again, before all this controversy came out, were people really checking for Camila like that? I don't know. YouTube concerts is the best. You can see full shows. It's the best advertising, but a lot of people aren't into my taste. Most gays are into metal and feel not seen because they're not your typical gay that media likes. Really? I don't know a lot of people that are really into metal or rock and stuff. I mean, I know a couple. I know one of my close friends. I haven't seen him in years though. Rodney, like he and I used to go to Marilyn Manson concerts. We went to so he and I were both, but we like all kinds of stuff. Like we like our pop songs. We like our pop artists, but we also like rock music. So I know he's going to see Linkin Park. I never got the opportunity to see Linkin Park. That's one of the concerts I wish I would have gone to. I do want to go to this Nine Inch Nails concert that's coming out because it actually, but they're going to be at the Barclays Center, which is annoying. However, the Barclays Center show is on my birthday, September 2nd. So I do want to go to that concert. A friend of one of my close friends, Esteban, somebody he's getting multiple tickets to multiple shows. To the one in Brooklyn, and he's going to go to other places that's close to the East Coast. I'm like, well, damn, you really are devoted Nine Inch Nails fan. But I definitely want to try to get tickets to go to that. So I'm gonna wait until we get close to the date, and I'm gonna buy tickets to go see that because I definitely want to go for my birthday and just take that day off and just go to the Barclays Center and see that concert. Even though I've never been in there, I definitely want to go see that show. So but yeah, I was like Nine Inch Nails, Marilyn Manson, damn, what the hell was his name? Disturb, who was actually coming to my job, I believe, in March. So, I'm a rock music fan, but I'm like, well, maybe it's where you live. But I guess in New York, people are well versed in like what they like. But I was like, I don't know many gays that are into metal. I became a Tate McRae fan. Sports car is an amazing analogy of sex. Reminded me of what I did on a day. Ooh, to be in a whore. Go to the forest and get my fix. um, um, yeah. I like Tate McRae too. I did not tell y'all that a couple of weeks ago. Like ever since I saw her perform at Jingle Ball, I was like, okay, I'm a Tate fan. I love this thing you have that shows I would say the commentation screen. Well, thank you. Yeah, that was one of the things I want to incorporate doing this show. And then Cleveland says, Robert, yes, I love Sports Car by Tate. It sounds like Buttons by PCD. Not that song, because didn't they just lip sync for their life to that song at RuPaul's Drag Race on Friday? Which sidebar, the right queen went home. But I guess maybe we'll talk about that later on in the show. I didn't do a whole recap situation, but I'll probably mention it in passing because the Delulu was Deluluing. Okay, so where we going? What's our next topic? Okay, Miley Cyrus. Let's get into this story. So apparently, there's a lot of drama going on in the Cyrus household in regards of what we talked about the other day. That Miley's brother Trace basically started spilling tea regarding his father and saying that they're overly concerned, that all the siblings are overly concerned about his health, and how he also mentioned that his father threatened legal action. We'll get into that story coming up after this one, but according to reports, they're saying that Miley Cyrus has no interest in rekindling a relationship with her father. Wait, hold on. Why is this thing so huge? Oh, because I'm on the wrong one. Y'all see my notes. I was like, no, let's pull this picture up. So, excuse me. So now there's a new report, and this is according to page 6, saying that Miley is not looking forward to making amends with her father, Billy Ray, even after, they've been worried about the performance that he recently did during Trump's inauguration. So sources familiar with the situation told Page Six that the pop star, who's 32, hasn't had a relationship with the country singer for a long time and has no interest in repairing things with him. However, our insider said that she saw his disastrous performance at President Trump's post-inauguration Liberty Bowl earlier this week and found it concerning. Miley's younger sister, Noah Cyrus, is also concerned as she loves Billy Ray unconditionally and wants the best for him, according to Page Six informants. Now, at Monday's event in Washington, D.C., the disheveled-looking achy-breaky heart crooner, who's 63, stumbled through his short set, which he later blamed on faulty equipment. Well, this is the second person, apparently, that had faulty equipment or there were things that was going wrong. It was Carrie Underwears, and now it's him. So clearly, the people over there at the Trump situation probably did paid the cheapest for a whole setup, only to leave their, the performers floundering like a damn dead fish out of water, gasping for, some oxygen because, the fish get their oxygen from the water. But anyway, so they also said that Trace, who's 35, and his siblings, minus brother Brayson, who we're going to get into that one because apparently Brayson is the only one who is team Billy Ray on this situation, and said that how he just started rekindling a relationship with his father, and there's nothing wrong with him or whatever, which kind of gives me the overall, from what I'm taking from this, is that Brayson is probably enabling his father because now that he's finally gotten in a relationship with him, that he doesn't want to rock the boat. But to me, is it a real relationship, or you just looking the other way because you don't want to be left out on the outside of things with him if you confront him on whatever it is that he's going through and tell him, well, you need to get help. So they said that Trace discussed his Instagram post before he shared it and that they signed off on it because they all agree with what he wrote. However, one source denies this, going so far as to claim that the family is pissed at Trace because Billy is sober. The source also claims that the Grammy winner is in a really good place with both Miley and Noah. Now, in Trace's public plea to Billy Ray to seek help, he admitted he barely recognizes his father now and lamented in part, "It seems the world has beaten you down and it's become obvious to everyone but you." With tears in his eyes, he went on, "You're not healthy, Dad, and everyone is noticing it. I hope you realize this message only comes from a place of love and also fear that the world may lose you far too soon." And he said, "I love you." Now, Trace then disclosed that he is over a year and a half clean from alcohol and added, "I don't know what you're struggling with, but exactly, but I think I have a pretty good idea, and I'd love to help you if you would open up and receive the help." So I guess maybe he's alluding to that maybe his father has kind of fallen down this alcoholic spiral, and he feels like he wants to help him out. He also mentioned Noah, specifically saying the 25-year-old desperately has wanted you to be a part of her life, and you haven't even been there for her. That's your baby girl. She deserves better. Somehow, just like me, she still idolizes you, though. Now, even Billy Ray's wife, Fire Rose, shared his loved one's concerns. Brayson, however, does not. So you got the ex-wife and everybody jumping in on this, and now y'all trying to sit up here and say that it's not true. So yeah, he does look like, yeah, Billy do look like he might need a shower or three when I'm sitting there looking at him with this picture. And then there goes Miley with her sister. Sister. That's what they be calling each other on Drag Race. But anyway, so then he also said, according to Trace, Brayson 30 believes their dad is doing well because birds of a feather flock together. So then also, now as for Miley, she noticeably excluded Billy Ray from her 2024 Grammys acceptance speech, only thanking her mother Tish, her sister, her love, and her stylist. "I don't think I forgot anyone, but I might have forgotten underwear. Bye." And so, yeah, girl, that was shade. Like if you say you ain't forget anybody, because some people would be like, well, why would you go and purposely ignore your father when we didn't know who Miley was before Billy Ray? Like we knew Billy Ray because when I was growing up, I remember hearing "Achy Breaky Heart" played ad nauseum in the '90s. So that's what I was aware of. And then when I found out Miley was his daughter, I was like, oh, okay, whatever, And then Hannah Montana and all that other stuff that came up. So she is a nepo baby if you look at things. But yeah, she's having her fledgling relationship with her dad. There's something that went on between them. They don't get along, and she probably wanted to keep this private. But if Trace wanted to go on and felt like this was the only way that he can get his feelings out there, then yeah, there's that. But then I don't know if y'all can see in this picture, he did post this photo of himself shirtless, look like he's working out. And then he said, Brayson, I can help you too. Damn, man up, boys. So he's saying that his brother's probably going through some things. So to even bring up this, because I'm going to connect both as stories. So yeah, Trace is claiming that their father threatened legal action on him because he started spilling tea about his father. So he basically posted this following tweet, which I have here, please hold, and said, Dad, my message was beyond loving. I could have been extremely honest about a lot more, but I don't want to put your business out there like that. But for you to threaten me with legal action for wanting you to get help is a disgrace. Pappy is looking down at you with such disappointment. I can assure you, you should be ashamed of yourself. I will always love you, but I no longer respect you as a man. Everyone close to you is terrified to tell you how they really feel. I'm not. Get help. So for all these conflicting stories of people trying to say that, oh yeah, this is not true and blah, 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 and all this other mess, is that, yeah, he is showing genuine concern for his father. His father has cut a lot of the family, according to him, out of their life. They're genuinely concerned. They feel like the only way they can get through with him is by spraying his business on social media, which seems to be the only way that he can get his tea out there. But then, of course, people jumped in the comments, and I feel like a lot of people were going in on him and felt that this is some business that you should have kept private and that you should not be putting out in the public. But like I said before, I totally get it. If the only way that you feel that you can help someone in the situation they're in is by spewing a business, spraying a tea on social media and putting it out there, because it's like, well, yeah, if you're not going to listen, if I can't get a hold of you, if you block me on social media platforms, if I can't call you or text you, whatever the case is, and the only way I can get through you, and I can't get through the people that surround you because they're a bunch of damn enablers, they're making money off of you. And this is the issue that we've said many a times that we have with people who get in this entertainment business, how they have countless enablers who just look the other way. And as long as they're making a profit off you, you could do with them as many drugs, screw as many women, and do whatever the hell you want to do until the ends of the earth. But then when you had that OD, and it's like, well, damn, now I got to go find a job and find the next person to live off of. So it'd be like that sometimes. So the only way that he can get through to his father is by putting his business out here in these streets. So one person in the comments said, this is messy. Not everything is meant for social media. Another person said, yo, Trace, you ever heard the word indiscreet? Your biggest fan on the planet here, and not everything needs to be fleshed out for prying eyes. So Trace did respond and said, send my dad some words of encouragement, guys. I have faith the man we all once knew is still in there somewhere. We got to get him back. Another person said, which I agree with, comments are insane. This is a child crying out for their parent. Would you all not do the same if you were in a similar situation? Sometimes a grand gesture of telling your family member, I love you, I'm worried about your well being, is needed. Clearly, he's exhausted all means possible of reaching out to him directly / privately, which is literally what I have been saying this whole time. So, for those of you out there that's continuing to defend this situation, I just don't understand it. And like, let me see. Oh yeah, I did see that when I did tell y'all the comment that he made about his brother Brayson. But then Brayson is basically denying everything and said that their father is happy and healthy, and said, I spent the past year getting to know my dad better than I ever have. And this is what Brayson said, who's 30. And he's also producing Billy Ray's forthcoming album. And he said, after he spent a week in the hospital in the fall, I'm grateful that my dad is happy, healthy, and ready to make this record. So are you happy because you're going to make money off of your father because you're producing his music? But We'll see how it all goes out. My heart does definitely go out to the Cyrus family. Hopefully, if there is some issues going on with Billy Ray, that he gets the help that he needs. And like I said before, I don't feel like I need to keep exhausting it. Sometimes, yeah, like the person said, and I've said pretty much before I even read the comments, what makes you guys think that he hasn't exhausted all avenues of wanting to help his father? And this was the only way that he can get through to him. Sometimes you got to put a bitch on blast in order for them to see beyond what's in front of them. Because sometimes people don't see it. And I'm trying to get through to you. And sometimes, you know what? Sometimes I got to take the drastic measure, get on social media and tell your damn business for you to wake the hell up. So I ask all of you, what do you think of this story? And what would you do if you were in this situation? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so we have comments. Mm-hmm. I was like, wait a minute. Oh, Anna says, I love all the singles from Tate's new album. Her last album was a chop, but I guess she found her sound. Well, yeah, it seems like a lot of, she's gone through years of rebrands and all that other stuff. And luckily enough, she's been able to do that and do, because not a lot of people get a lot of chances in this industry. Trump being cheap, you don't say. Okay. Well, while I'm glad Miley made that choice. Mhm. That's RuPaul's bestie. Who, Miley Cyrus? Yeah, I believe it. Oh, yeah. Well, she's done a lot of things with RuPaul and drag queens. In a pop heads chat, Tate realized she had to ditch the singer-songwriter sad girl pop because it's getting tired and people want to celebrate sexuality and having sex after a decade of being told that's, well, look, we need to get back to having fun. That whole sad pop girl stuff, it was so annoying. I was so irritated by that whole situation, but I'm glad we kind of moving into a different direction. You said you only knew of Billy because of Miley. Well, yeah, I think like most young people would know Miley Cyrus because of her father, or that that's his revitalization. When I was growing up, I knew of Billy Ray Cyrus, and then came Miley Cyrus. But then now, of course, with Hannah Montana and a bunch of other stuff, it's like the roles were reversed because no shade. Miley was the biggest star. Billy Ray was kind of like a one-hit wonder. It said, wait, so Billy Ray Cyrus and Carrie Underwood both had iffy performances for Trump. Is that Trump having unqualified stage hands or karma for them dancing for the devil? Okay. I kind of wonder what was the performances like that the other ones did. Snoop Dogg, Rick Ross, and Nelly. I wonder if they had any issues. But I did see that Snoop Dogg was still on social media tap dancing, trying to find an excuse around why he performed for Trump. I was like, Chad, you don't just sit your old tired ass and just say you did it for the money. I'm tired of everybody out here trying to all of a sudden. And it's like, look, it's like what D.L. Hughley said. Oh, wait, wasn't D.L. Hughley? Was it Mark Lamont Hill? Because there was a lot of people that were speaking out about it on social media. I feel like if you're going to do it, and I said this too, if you're going to if you're going to perform for these people, take your money and do whatever. I don't know why people look to these celebrities as sort of like these savior of whatever it is y'all looking for. Like y'all act like it's Moses. He about to part the Red Sea for y'all asses. I just feel like you keep putting all of your eggs in the basket of these celebrities or celebrity worship, all that stuff, y'all will end up disappointed. So when I've been around enough of these damn celebrities over the years, I see the bullshit for what it is. I've been the Oz in the wizard in Oz, the man that pulled the curtain back and sees the show for what it is. And I'm trying to tell y'all how it is in the situation. So that's why when I look at all these performances and how the machine works, I don't feel no ways tired about all this mess. So I just come on here and I spill the tea, I give my opinion, and I move on. But also, I feel like with these celebrities, if you're going to make a decision to go perform for somebody who you won't be affected by because you're rich and you're in that kind of tax bracket, so y'all won't be really affected by it because you're a successful celebrity in so many ways of what you do, be it music, sports, film, whatever. So you're not going to be affected by what's going to happen to this country, but the rest of us are. And if you're going to go and make a decision that people aren't going to agree with, then you need to be prepared for the backlash that you're going to get. So Nelly can get up on there and make 5,000 excuses. Snoop and his little shucking and jiving coon ass can get up there and do what he did, just like you try to go up there and read talking about which one of you ninjas, all this other mess that he said, that little video that came out 5 years ago, and now you the main one that you talking about all that mess about you, the main one that went over there and performed for him. So it's funny how people forget. But I love the internet. That remind a bitch of the stuff that they said back in the day. Molly was uncomfortable with that marriage. Noah was has distanced both of her parents. What marriage was she uncomfortable with? The one with her and Dominic Purcell? Billy Ray's performance was awful. I stand with Selena Gomez is trending on Facebook after being dissed by MAGA for having empathy for her community. First of all, don't nobody care about them old, slow behind maggots. Well, a lot of y'all can't even read or got good health care. It might be today or tomorrow, but we'll find out. I haven't seen any stories on it. Because I hate today, but I hate today. Where the hell did that come from? I like Tate, but I hope she will eventually put her own twist on the songs she's putting out before people get to criticizing her again for making songs that sound similar to those from 2005. Yeah, it's just like I like Tate, but I do feel like she's having a bit of an identity crisis, similar to Camila Cabello. You don't want your career to end up like hers. Candace Owens is not discussing being mentioned in the manifest. Of course she's not. Because she's fake as fuck. But I'm sure there'll be other YouTube pundits that'll bring it up. Not to bring back astrology, but an astrologer said that the sad girl Billie Olivia era of music was because Mars was in a certain planet and is leaving a planet in 2025, which basically means that, they'll be able to rebrand themselves. So, Saturn Jupiter. I was 21 when Hannah Montana premiered, and Arizona Republic was accurate in the prediction that Miley would be a popular star over her father. That was 19 years ago. But yeah, it was like, the father tried to be famous. He was famous for a moment. So he had 2 hits. He had Achy Breaky Heart and Old Town Road. And I'm sure he's got other songs, but mostly everybody knows him for those songs now. Okay, child, let's get into this mess. Let's talk about DJ Akademiks. This is not a laughing matter, but child, he out here trying to groom children. Did hear that he had spoken out about it. I was like, because I saw that he what was it? The Breakfast Club talked about it, but I didn't care enough. But I see like Meek Mills was telling the parents to block DJ Akademiks or block him on their kids' phones and stuff, because now they going out here saying all kinds of mess. But I was like, let me find that stuff and let me add both of those to the docket so that we can make this a full-on story. But I was like, child, this is a mess. So I had to find those stories real quick because those was not a part of the situation. So I was like, where's the story? Okay, I got it. Because it just opened up Twitter. Okay, I'm ready. So, DJ Akademiks, a well-known internet personality, podcaster, and troll. I can't stand DJ Akademiks. Never like that old no-neck, Alvin and the Chipmunks looking bastard. But we're going to talk about him on this damn show today. So now he's on intense scrutiny after making inappropriate and sexually suggestive comments towards a 15-year-old Twitch streamer during a live stream on January 23rd. And it's funny how I said to a friend of mine that posted something, I said, now you see why him and Drake are friends. And he said, exactly. Because when you out here windmilling hard for Drake, and wasn't Drake getting caught out here trying to talk to underage girls, allegedly, and here this one go, allegedly was accused. Wait a minute. Wasn't Akademiks accused of assaulting a woman in his house where it was him and his friends ran a choo-choo on her and, R-worded her, a choo-choo in that situation. So I have the video, courtesy of the Jasmine brand, where you hear him, and I was like, I'm not even going to read it. I want y'all to hear it. And my thing is, if y'all didn't cancel him when he was, and he's made homophobic slurs and stuff in the past, and I'm glad that Saucy Santana called him out and stuff, and I know a lot of people going to be like, hashtag Saucy was right, and stuff about this old chipmunk looking motherfucker. But let me play the clip, and then we'll come back and we'll talk. Please hold.
If Max said he wanted to try fucking a dude, will you let him fuck you?
No.
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah. You can have.
Wait.
If
I can't fuck you, I'm cutting you off.
No, yeah. Suppose he's like, yo, bro, listen, Yo, you always wanted me to be next to you. Now I could be inside of you. Pause.
Yo, I'm not gay.
You
Nah,
said
he
you was
said-
sucking dick though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah. With it.
If Max said he wanted.
Yeah, so this is the stuff that they're saying to a 15-year-old that's playing games on Twitch. So this is like, I do agree where we're going to get into that Meek Mill thing where he basically said that parents need to block him off of, their streaming situations because, you know what? These predators are out here luring your children via Twitch and all these old gaming sites. Yep, you parents wake up and really pay attention to what your kids are doing. I know it's innocent they out here just playing games and interacting with other people online, but the predators be out here too. And academics give me predator tease. So so we have one here. So academics been a weirdo, but y'all support weirdos, so he ain't going no damn where. And then another person says something's got to be done about academics. He's preying on young kids, and he'll just wait for this to die down before he pops up again. Oh, he popped up, and we're gonna get to what he said. Another person said DJ Academics is 33. Actually, he's 35. I checked on Wikipedia. I Googled Mogul. He's 35. He ain't 33. They said DJ Academics is 33, 35. Let me just keep it there because that's the actual number. Talking to a 15-year-old about this, and he has a case with his ex. Throw him under the jail. What a weirdo. Another person said, and this is why I keep saying, y'all always want to come out here to my homosexuals are gays and are pedophiles and perverts. A lot of you breeders be the main ones that be going up there touching children inappropriately. I don't find nothing sexual about no damn kid. Another person said, hope everybody turn up that academics grooming video that's on the timeline. You speaking on music business stuff, and you got too many weird cases roaming around freely. Well, this I agree with. And then it said, those clips of academics circle in the wild. Another person said, we're supposed to be protecting children, not exploiting them, for views because we want to get academics out of the culture. Somebody call the damn cops, please. And that was another thing, too, because there was another story that I do have where I got an update where the 15-year-old actually spoke to a streamer or a YouTuber or something or another named Screwface Gene, who has over 1 million subscribers. And he basically invited the kid on his platform to speak about the incident. However, what had happened was the guardian of the kid, who goes by NorGXD, I think that's how you say his name, basically informed him that law enforcement may soon get involved. So what I think needs to do is, yes, why y'all sitting down having interviews with YouTubers, whatever, and don't get me wrong, as a YouTuber myself and as a pundit and as somebody who does in the media space, I would love to sit down and have an interview with somebody and they can spit all the tea. And it definitely will help the views and stuff go up. But I feel like in this situation, fuck an interview. Y'all need to be going down to the cops and pressing charges and showing actual evidence that you was up in here making inappropriate damn comments. Now, I don't know if saying stuff like that actually gets people locked up. Sidebar. This is making me think about To Catch a Predator. Remember that show back in the day where they used to use that to go catching people out in these streets where they was doing all kinds of, trying to meet up with young people. And I just heard, and I'm hoping that one of the streaming services pick it up. They did a documentary on To Catch a Predator that just got shown at the Sundance Film Festival. So if that comes down and we get to see that, I'm definitely going to be tuning in to watch that because that was a show. I used to love watching that show coming up. I was like, yeah, get him, Jade. That was my whole situation that whole time. But they said it was complicated when it came to that whole situation. So that kind of makes me think about this. Like, what are the protocols in regards to this situation? But I also feel like our laws, our outdated dinosaur-esque laws, have not caught up with social media. So there could probably be it's probably going to take a while for our laws to catch up with what's happening in the media now. So I need y'all to do a little catch up. So yeah. But then according to what they said in the update, like GXD said that the comments were truly uncomfortable and disgusting. And so they were also saying that academics made several comments about GXD's possibly having intercourse with a man and questioned why he wouldn't. And my thing is, like, if you were supposed to be all the homophobic stuff. And this is why I tell y'all, a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, these so-called breeders that be running around here trying to throw shade at us gays and want to make homophobic comments, 9 times out of 10, they be wanting to bend over and touch their damn toes, they damn self. So when y'all be up in here worrying about what the gays are doing, who they sucking, who they fucking, who they doing, low key, y'all want to be getting down with the get down, or do it in secret, but can't be your authentic selves and be mad at the homosexuals who be out here doing the authentic thing and not giving a damn what a lot of you hoes think. So I be thinking that is the cackle of all cackles. Now, to get to the rest of this situation, Akademiks did break his silence. And, that's why I said with him being a massive Drake fan, it's kind of looking at a birds of a feather flock together type situation. So I'm trying to look for the okay, so he definitely spoke on it. But they talking about, wait a minute, am I on the wrong thing? I am in the wrong thing. I'm in the Mob Ties reference track because I'm like, wait a minute, why am I not saying the thing he broke his silence? Because I did see that, not on that, grooming allegations. Let me look it up on, it's like I'm doing this in real time. Because if the Breakfast Club said that he spoke on it, then I'm like, where is those video? Where is what he said? But I'm not seeing if he said anything. So we'll just go with the Meek Mill story. So he basically was disturbed, according to Vibe, because they're the one that wrote the article. Said that they were disturbed by DJ Akademiks' behavior this weekend, and he was accused of grooming and engaging in a sexual conversation online with a 15-year-old. The Philadelphia rapper has since issued a warning to parents regarding the popular streamer, advising they block him on their kids' phones and computers for safety reasons, saying, quote, if you are a parent, go get your kid's phone and block this man. He's grooming children in a very large platform that kids like. This is what Meek, who's 37, tweeted after a clip of the inappropriate conversation went viral. Also attempts to ruin Black families and Black success daily, villain in the village, and that was written in caps, villain in the village. They said his words captioned a screenshot of him preparing to block Ak on his own phone, where they also showed that you could see the photo, which let me pull that up here. So yeah, he posted this, which is over here. Look at me coming up with receipts in real time. I was like, this is a live damn show, Chelsea. I just got to go with the flow. So now Meek and Ak's tension date back to 2017 when, according to Akademiks, Meek took issue with him not promoting Meek's Wins and Losses album on his platform. Saying Meek, he didn't appreciate I didn't post his album. This would explain on a 2017 episode of Everyday Struggle. And that's where I remember Akademiks from. Because Akademiks was on that show with, oh my God, I forgot the girl's name, but Joe Budden. That's when Joe Budden started really getting into the space of podcasting and media. Because I remember when he was on Everyday Struggle. And Akademiks, I tolerated him, but I didn't really care for him, though. I totally forgot that he was a part of that show at one point. They said, however, it was really confusing to me because about 6 months ago, Meek had sent me a DM. Him and the rest of the chasers, they gave me a little digital jump and a light one. They said, listen, either post us this way or don't post us at all. Now, Ak went on to say that Meek and his chasers crew later threatened him, resulting in him refusing to post Meek at all. Next thing I'm seeing, they were threatening me, Ak said at the time. When I see him, I'm gonna give him, that's not even English, but I'm going to give him a wedgie. I'm going to slap him. I'm like, oh shit, I think I'm posting them wrong. So I stopped posting them. Now, Meek later prompted to get Ak canceled in June of 2020, tweeting that the streamer is responsible for gassing up beefs that resulted in a loss of life. Now, Akademiks canceled because he's a bad police in our culture, don't need them. He also gassed a lot of beef that got people killed or hurt and never donated $1 to the culture. We gonna holler at you next, run champ, LOL. Now, 6 months later, Ak and Meek went head-to-head on the Clubhouse app, exchanging harsh words until 21 Savage began to mediate the out-of-control conversation. The pair have continued to go back and forth since, but no sight of resolution in sight. So that's their beef and all this other stuff. But here's the thing. Are you actually doing this when you talk about block him and showing the block situation because now you doing it for clout or you genuinely care about this kid? Because I feel like if you wasn't featuring Akademiks, you could have blocked his ass a long damn time ago. Why are you using this opportunity to all of a sudden show like, oh yeah, I'm blocking him and I don't want to be a part of this situation? So it does feel a little performative to me. But I do feel like besides the whole performative situation, what we should take from this is, yes, parents, y'all need to get heavily involved, see what your kids is doing, put like a parental advisory type thing. I don't know what the rules are in regards to Twitch. I'm an adult, so I have all my stuff open in regards of me doing Twitch. In fact, I stream this show live on my Twitch. So, and I was thinking now that I got a PS5, I'm probably going to start gaming on my Twitch. Don't quote me on it, but I'm warming up to that. So, and with that being said, you don't have any guardrails in regards to that whole situation. And then again, I'm not interacting with kids and stuff online like that because I don't have nothing in common with a child. So therefore, why am I even going to ask, let alone play with a 15-year-old? I'm an adult. So I don't get this whole thing of what Akademiks do. And that is inappropriate. You asking a kid, like, why would you even think in your head to even say that out your mouth? Thinking about trying to get a 15-year-old to put his mouth, give another dude a baloney wash. So it kind of makes me wonder, do we need to start checking Axe phone and seeing what kind of stuff he got on file in his computer and things of that nature? Because if we find out you doing some Austin Wolf type stuff, and sir, you're going to end up in that federal prison. I don't know, where is he, in Jersey? Child, they're going to put you up in the Brooklyn, in the penitentiary situation, detention center. What is it called? Brooklyn Detention Center place, or Manhattan? I forget what the hell it's called. The place they got Diddy ass at, and Luigi Mangione, and Austin Wolf. They're going to send your ass there if you in the East Coast. And I think he is in the East Coast. I think he's in Jersey somewhere. But yeah, so this is gross. What you out here saying this stuff to this kid. And I feel like, yeah, we'll see if folks in the community actually cancel him, because it seemed like y'all hate the gays and the trans and you know, they're the ones who are the issue, in particular Black community. Yeah, I'm calling a lot of y'all out with your hypocrisy. You hate the gays, you hate you know, the trans people. They're the worst part of the community, but y'all look the other way when it comes to certain PDF files and child diddlers and things of that nature. Y'all make 1,000 excuses. I've seen it happen time and time again. You make excuses for people in your family that are murderers, that do all kinds of crazy stuff because you need your baby home. So yeah, putting that kid off on, that kid was caught off guard. This is disgusting. You know, I always say there's a little bit of truth in a joke. Like, how you being a pervert to a grown ass man in his 30s, mid 30s, saying stuff like that to a child who's 50 years old and doesn't even have the bandwidth or the mental capacity to even try to come up with a rebuttal. So yeah, he's gonna laugh, because how as a 15-year-old do you react to a grown man who's in his mid 30s asking you to do same-sex sexual acts on a grown-ass man? And then have the nerve to say pause, like it makes it okay. Because a lot of you dumb, you know, sexually repressed breeders, never be straight folks, do that. Well, y'all think throwing pause on something, that just, excuse it, you sound like a grown-ass man who's got the mentality of a 5-year-old making toilet jokes. That's what that comes across. So I ask all of you this. What do y'all think of this story? Are y'all actually, is this going to be the straw that finally breaks the camel's back in regards to y'all finally canceling DJ Akademiks trash ass for good? I don't know. It's to be seen. Just like a lot of y'all talking about y'all gonna block, y'all gonna boycott Target, and y'all gonna boycott all these other places that are removing, you know, these DEI type of situations from their organizations and all that stuff. I don't buy it. I don't believe it, because I feel like when we try to perpetuate this image of unity within our communities, I don't feel like Black people even take the time to really walk the walk in that situation. A lot of y'all say a whole lot of shit, but when it comes down to it, a lot of you don't walk the walk. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Sailor Mermaid says, is Akademiks stupid, dumb, or slow? All three. All the above. But kudos to him for confirming the speculation of his predatory behavior. Okay. willingly. Okay. When he exposed himself, and that's why I hated. Like, there was people in my comments that was like, "Who?" And my thing is, if you don't know who somebody is, then don't fucking comment. Like, everything ain't for everybody. I hate when people do that. Who? Well, if you're not really into hip hop and things that goes on in the hip hop community, then move on. But sometimes I don't want to be shady on social media, so I just ignore it because I realize when you are in the position that I'm in with media and stuff, I can't be going too hard on people because then I get accused of making hateful comments, and then I won't be able to have access to my social media platforms. So I just let it go, let it go. In the words of Frozen, well, the song Frozen, Elsa from Frozen. Okay, let's move on, child. Wait, hold on, let me get some water. Okay, so we got a couple more topics left in the show. We got about 5 more topics, I believe. Yeah, that's all homosexual news. So before we get to the homosexual topics, if you could please do me a solid and hit that like button and that subscribe button. Also, be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Okay, so now without further ado, let's get into some of this drag race news. And let's talk about Miss The Vivienne, who was finally laid to rest over in the UK. So yeah, her funeral happened. You know how the Southerners say it, funeral. Then they'll say funeral. So yeah, she was finally laid to rest, which is great. It's funny how she's another one that did a carriage because Liam Payne, he did a carriage too. So now the funeral for beloved James Lee Williams, aka the Vivienne, who died at the age of 32, has been held in North Wales. The drag icon, who cemented herself as one of the most well-rounded queens in the drag race history books, died at their home in Cheshire on the 5th of January. Now, police confirmed there was no suspicious circumstances surrounding her health. Now, on Monday, January 27th, that will be today, the Vivienne's funeral service took place at St. Margaret's Church in Bodle Wyden, I think is how you say it, near where the Vivienne went to school. Now, as reported by the BBC ahead of the coffin, which was pulled by a pair of black horses with jade-colored plumes, the crown and scepter awarded to drag race winners was carried. Well, when I die, can I please be, I want a carriage, and then y'all can cremate me. I just want the whole pomp and circumstance of it all. Now, countless celebrities attended the Vivienne's funeral, including singer and former Little Mix star Jade Thirlwall, who has been confirmed to headline the UK queer pop event Mighty Hoopla Festival this year. Now, calling all homosexuals, I need y'all to get out there and get on this whole UK queer pop event because this is something we need in New York. Because how is it that they have the festival in the UK but not here? Now, Ian Watkins, better known as H from Steps, was also present. The LGBTQ plus icon, who publicly came out as a homosexual in 2007, lives near Cowbridge in the Vale of Glamorgan, Wales. Now, fellow drag queen Cheryl Hole and Bag of Chips also attended the funeral. Now, Bag of Chips, one of many drag icons who paid an emotional tribute to the Vivienne following her death, described her as her best friend. Actresses Claire Sweeney, who plays Cassandra Plummer on Coronation Street, and Jennifer Ellison, who hosted the UK version of Dance Moms on Lifetime, were also among attendees. Kim Woodburn, who was famously impersonated by the Vivienne, and Kerry Katona also paid their respects. Now, former Drag Race stars Veronica Green, who recently revealed that she'd been diagnosed with autoimmune disorder multiple sclerosis, and Tia Coffey were also in attendance. Now, as for the Vivienne, Williams first gained national notoriety in the UK drag scene, after being anointed the first RuPaul's Drag Race UK ambassador by RuPaul in 2015. They went on to become the first winner of RuPaul's Drag Race UK in 2019, becoming a household name in Britain. Now, during her run on Drag Race, she was open about her battle with addiction, saying she hoped to help people along the way. And I hope that this wasn't an addiction type situation. I guess we'll never know what she died from, but they said it was no foul play and stuff. So I'm glad that we got that. Now, in regards of, I know everybody's going to ask about the big elephant in the room. Where was RuPaul and why wasn't he there? That's a good question. Maybe he's one of those people that's just like, you know what, when you're close to someone, it's too hard for them to have to be in that type of room and to go to that person's funeral. I know I'm that way when it comes to people in my life. Like, I'm not really big on, I'm so Samantha Jones in the whole funeral thing. Remember when the episode of Sex and the City when Miranda's mother died? And everybody was like, well, Charlotte always overdoes it. And then, the first person she told was Carrie, because that was like, she called her to tell her the whole situation. She was with her at every step of the way, but she had to run out to Pennsylvania to go see her mother. And then it was that whole situation. And I'm so Samantha in this situation where it's just like trying to show your emotion or even wanting to deal with that situation. I can't do it. Except at the end of the episode, she was just like blurted out, "I love you," and then started bawling out crying at the funeral. That's just me. Like, I'm not really big on funerals. And I know there's a lot of people that are feeling that way, but yeah, me having to be at a funeral and dealing with the sadness, and when funeral should be I feel like this funeral should be a celebration. That's what they do with Dana Nolan's. So shout out to the Vivienne. Glad she's finally being laid to rest. It'd have been cool to see if like Michelle Visage or RuPaul were there, but according to the report, I don't think they were. Now, if they were, definitely let me know in the comments if they actually showed up. But I think that maybe Ru felt that, you know what, I'll just do my tribute at DragCon, and everybody did what they needed to do at that time. But for the most part, in regards of the funeral, it probably was a bit hard for him to have to, be there for that sort of thing. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards of the latest on the Vivienne and her funeral? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below. Okay, so now, he said, "Be shady, yes." The police are killing the J6 pardon. I get vigilante justice, but with the president on his mission of revenge, you guys, now not the time with it. But it was, now's not the time, but it was very legal, as he was violent in a traffic stop. I totally messed that up reading that. It said Google Matthew Huddle. But I'll look that up later on. It said the Viv will most likely have a tribute at the season 17 finale, like Chi did during the season 13 finale. Yeah, I always know, like, Ru is somebody who, I got to do it in my own way. I don't want to necessarily be boo-hooing up at somebody's funeral. That should be for like close family and friends. I don't want to overstep in that way, because as a host, it's sort of like, yeah, I'll pay my condolences in other ways, and I'm gonna honor her as, a part of the finale, which I think they should do, like the reunion finale. I'm trying to remember. They didn't even do like a reunion last year for season 16. They did it for Bring Back My Girls with the hell's up with T.S. Madison, but they never got like a reunion. And I don't think they didn't do a live wrap up, right? I'm trying to remember the finale of the one with Saphira and all of them. I don't know if I want them to go back to doing a live one in front of an audience, because first of all, y'all spill what happened before the show even comes out. The Jan Sixer, who was part of my Trump, was killed by cops during a trap. Oh, that's what you were saying. So, yeah, that's what's going to happen. You want to know something? This is some Final Destination type shit here, because it's like, yeah, y'all crazy people should have been locked up in jail and stay where the hell you are. The minute you get out, they feel like maybe this gives them permission to be the bigots that they, like, Trump gives them permission to be the bigots that they are deep down inside. And I've been saying that this is what's going to happen with some of them. Like, there's some people that's just entertained by the bullshit and the shenanigans, because they look at this like this is like some WWE SmackDown type mess that they're watching on TV. But it's like, no, you're gonna realize this is your lives y'all playing with. Like, why are you letting this man who has no kinds of relatability to any of the average American person basically just run around destroying this country and having no guardrails? Like, I don't get it. So he and Elon Musk are not relatable in any way, but yet and still people relate to them. How? Is it because y'all aspire to have what they have? They were born into wealth. So you already fucked up there. You weren't born in the well like they were. So they can pretty much do whatever the hell they want. Who said the season 16 finale was filmed in August, September of 2023, months after they finished filming because of the SAG strike. Oh yeah, so that's what it was. I think it was because of the SAG strike. They couldn't really have like the big proper thing, but I don't know. Hopefully they work it out and change it. I don't kind of want them to go back to like do like the other shows do. The only ones that I know that does a live finale would be France and the US one. Then it's the only two, because all the other ones don't really do live finales. España doesn't do a live finale. Canada doesn't do a live finale. They just finished. They only had 9 episodes. I'm like, why y'all cutting their episodes down short? It's because not a lot of people's watching. I'm just genuinely curious. So yeah, that one didn't do all that well. So I don't know. It's annoying. It's kind of confusing. But I don't want them to go back to the live finale because I feel like people spoil stuff on social media. So I don't think that they should bring it back to doing a live one. I feel like maybe you could just fill up the audience with queens from the past as well as queens from the current season, and then that'll be your audience. You could have them in the regular studio and just have them do like performances and all this other stuff. Don't do a live finale because a lot of y'all got big damn mouths and be revealing too much stuff on social media. So we all pretty much could figure out who the winner is by the time we get to the episode. But that's just me. But anyway, okay, so let's get into this Heklina story because I found like this was a really important story to talk about. I remember when I first posted this article about how Metropolitan Police have released this photo along with information, asking for information in relation to the death of American drag legend Heklina, who was found dead on April 3rd of 2023. So there was no initial talk about foul play and all this other stuff. And when I posted it, I was like, I didn't even know that the police were looking into it as a possible red room. Y'all already, if you've seen The Shining, you know what I'm talking about. So coming to find out, well, a lot of people actually reposted it. Everybody, and I kid you not, because I was looking, I was like, damn, there's a lot of people reposting this. Everyone from Lady Bunny to Sharon Needles reposted my story. So when this story came out, I gagged. I was like, I was not expecting, because I was aware of Heklina and a lot of the shows that she did in the past, and she was very much an icon within the drag community. But I didn't know like something had tragically happened. So according to the San Francisco Chronicle, they said almost 2 years after the death of San Francisco drag star Heklina, London police have released surveillance footage of 3 men who were at the Soho flat where the performer was found on April 3rd of 2023. Now, Heklina's body was discovered by friend and fellow drag performer Peaches Christ at the flat they were sharing. Heklina, whose birthday was Stefan Grigelko, I think that's how you say his name, was in London with Peaches Christ to perform in a 2-week run of the drag parody Mommy Queerest at the Soho Theater. Now, sidebar, I got to give it up to Peaches Christ. I love a lot of Peaches' work. When I first moved to LA, I actually got the opportunity to see Mean Gays, which is a take on Mean Girls. And that's what a lot of what Peaches does. She creates stage play parodies and gives it a queer twist of iconic films and things of that nature. So like I said, with Mean Gays, Mean Girls, Mommy Dearest, Mommy Queerest. So, and she's done a lot of those over the years. So so I just want to give you a little bit of that backstory. Now, her death at 55 has been the subject of ongoing investigation, with the release of the CCTV footage among the first significant news since 2023. Now, Peaches Christ told the Chronicle on Friday that she was stunned to learn about the existence of a recording and feels the London police didn't thoroughly examine the case due to homophobic bias. And that's immediately what popped in my head. It's like, well, wait a minute, why 2 years later? Are we damn near 2 years later? Are they all of a sudden coming to this conclusion that there may have been homophobic bias in this whole situation? Because it was like you saw a man in a dress that was found dead in his apartment that he was sharing with Peaches. They even investigated Peaches. Wait, I'm jumping ahead. So let's get to that. She said, what I believe happened is so upsetting. I've been keeping my mouth shut for all this time and trying to have some sort of reconciliation with the official autopsy report or certificate of death that says how she died. And 2 years later, I still don't have that. Said, this is what Peaches Christ said, who also directs films under her birth name, Joshua Grinnell. The lack of closure and my anger is indescribable. Now, London police are asking for the men shown in the video to come forward with any information they have about Heklina's death. Now, first of all, this is a horrible ass picture because I can barely make out who the hell they are. But I guess if you have good Zoom, it's like y'all could have figured out that whole Luigi Mangione thing based on his damn eyebrows. Then I guess you could figure out who these people are and bring them to justice. She wanted to say, what I believe happened is so upsetting. I've been keeping my, oh, I read that part already. She said, the lack of closure and my anger is indescribable. Now, London police are asking for the men shown in the video to come forward. The police, who did not immediately respond to the Chronicle's request for comment, did not state the men are suspects. So then how did y'all come to this conclusion that those could be the possible people who were last seen in the apartment that you could vouch that that's them? Like, I just don't understand what the police are trying to say here. So our thoughts are with Stephen's family and friends who still have a lot of unanswered questions about what happened to him. This is what London Detective Chief Inspector Dean Purvis said in a Daily Mail story. We know that the three men in the CCTV images were at the flat in the early hours of April 3rd of 2023. I'm asking them to contact police. We need to establish what happened and how Stephen was when they left. If you recognize any of the men, I would encourage you to let us know who they are. Now, Nancy French, friend of Heklina's and executive of her estate, shares Peaches Christ's frustrations, saying, I'm Heklina's next of kin with the London police, but have never received a cause of death, autopsy report, or final death certificate. This is what French said in a statement to the Chronicle and Ray Area Reporter. The CCTV footage should have been released 21 months ago. Releasing it now just proves their ineptitude and mismanagement that we have been dealing with for almost 2 years. And you want to know something? I don't want to put nothing in your head, but I'm going to put it in your head. I would file a lawsuit and sue their ass because I feel like this is clearly rooted in homophobia. All of a sudden, oh, damn near 2 years later, y'all want to release footage? If y'all had this footage, if y'all had an inclination of what was going on, you should have let us know this a while ago. So now, Heklina and Peaches Christ were sharing the rented flat in the Soho area while rehearsing. When Heklina decided to arrange a sexual encounter, Peaches Christ said she opted to stay in a nearby hotel Saturday and Sunday to give her friend privacy. I'm not airing any dirty laundry. If you know her at all, this is all stuff she would have been glad to talk about on stage. Peaches Christ said she returned to the flat Monday morning and immediately felt something was off when she found the front door ajar. She also noticed that a bathroom light connected to a noisy fan was on, something the two had discussed being irritated by. She said when Heklina was found by me, she was in drag in a very compromising position. This is what Peaches said about finding her friend on the living room floor. I think the bias started happening from the moment she was found. This was considered a dismissed case from the moment we started going down this road, which is clearly what I said, is the fact that you saw a man in a dress or you saw someone dressed up, because you know what? I want to be careful here because I don't know I don't think that Heklina was transgender. It was a drag performer. But I don't know. I could be wrong. I mean, I don't know Heklina personally, but I'm aware of who Heklina is because Heklina is a legend within the drag scene. So, or maybe there was a fetish that the person was into, that you wanted to see them all dressed up in full geesh, and then, they want to do a baloney wash on a man or whatever. Whatever her sexual fetishes and things are, some of the men, they like seeing, they like the drag queens when they all dressed up and they want to, do a little something, something. But what probably could have happened, because it was like, if you arranged a sexual encounter and 3 men actually left the apartment, then that goes to show that this could have been a situation which we've heard stories about on Grindr and things of that nature, that guys will pursue someone, will try to do a hookup, and then it'd be like a robbery or something or another that goes down where it's like they jump or they come to the apartment. Is more than one person that comes up in there. They rob, they do all kinds of crazy stuff, and then they assault. We've heard stories about this happen before. I don't know if this is what happened to Heklina, but there have been many stories out here that there's a lot of apps that a lot of the times the homosexuals go on the apps, they do hookups and the hookups go wrong, where people be out here trying to pursue and create pages to go after certain people to assault and rob or do whatever. So maybe that was what the situation was. But we need somebody to reopen this case and really go in and do what needs to be done, because these cops don't know what the hell they're doing, apparently. So then they said, after being cleared as a suspect, Peaches Christ returned to San Francisco and, with French, continued to press London police for answers about the status of the investigation. Peaches Christ said that the emails to the detective first assigned to the case went unanswered for months. It wasn't until she emailed the department letting them know about the possible scenarios for Heklina's deaths, scenarios she had heard from a source in the London coroner's office, that she began to get responses to her emails. Peaches Christ also said she had been speaking to a London journalist about her suspicions about police inaction in the case. Now, Heklina was the co-founder of the legendary San Francisco drag night Tranny Shack in 1996, which she hosted at the Stud Bars from a location at 9th and Harrison Streets in the South of Market District. Hosted on Tuesday at midnight, the Shack became known as one of the most experimental, artistically daring drag venues in the Bay Area, and has been the subject of 2 documentaries. That's what I was like, that's where I was aware of Heklina from, was, the Tranny Shack documentary. So now the event and Heklina herself had a post-punk defiant aesthetic that later influenced global drag culture. After renaming the event T-Shack and then Mother, Heklina hosted the final show in February of 2020. Now, for decades, she performed with Peaches Christ in drag parodies in Hollywood films, touring internationally. Heklina also played Doechii Zabornak. That's the funny thing, too. Heklina, I believe, was also in Mean Girls. That's where I met her. Doechii Zabornak, along with Darcy Drollinger, in the annual San Francisco holiday production, The Golden Girls Live, the Christmas episodes. In 2015, Heklina opened the San Francisco nightclub and drag hotspot Oasis with Drollinger before divesting in 2020 and becoming a silent investor. The performer's death shook the Bay Area and international drag community with tributes, including a memorial card on an episode of RuPaul's Drag Race and a funeral at the Castro Theater, which required closing off the street so overflow crowds could watch the program on a jumbo screen. Heklina was also added to the mural Showtime at Oasis in 2023. Peaches Christ said that in addition to continuing to push for answers from London police, she also had been discussing the possibility of making the documentary about Heklina with filmmaker Brian Benson that would ask questions about the case. But before that, the next step for us is to rally as many people as possible to push for answers. And I'm really hoping that that's what you do. You continue to get out there, Peaches. You continue to push. You continue to find out what's going on with this case. And I'll definitely keep abreast of this case as it develops, because we cannot continue to have incompetent ass police in 2025 still spewing their homophobia and acting like that not only Black lives don't matter, but homosexual lives, but don't matter. So good luck to you. And I really hope that, you find out what you need to find out in regards to the situation. You push for the London police to give you answers in regards to this case. You keep your foot on their damn neck. And also, once you get all of that, you can add that as part of this documentary that you told me that you wanted to put together. Because I do feel like a lot of people definitely need to know who Heklina was and her impact on the drag scene. So I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story and this latest development on Heklina's death, that it wasn't natural causes? Somebody took her life. And I'm glad that, she has people in her corner who are literally trying to push for answers, because we definitely need some out in these streets. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so now let's move on to this story, and let's talk about Lexi Love, who came out as HIV positive after Donald Trump started his damn mess on social media, where he started removing all LGBTQ plus and HIV resources from federal websites. So, y'all thought they was only going to go after the trans? Oh no, he's going after everybody. He's going after the gays. He's going after the homosexual. The homosexual, gays, same shit. He's going after the LGBTQ plus community. He's going after Black folks. He's going after Latinos. He's going after everybody who isn't white and male. So if y'all think that y'all not going to be affected by the buffoonery, I don't know what to tell you. You're in for a rude awakening. So yeah, so Lexi Love may be best known as the high energy queen from season 17. But she's making waves by sharing her HIV status and calling out the Trump administration. Now, when President Donald Trump's team overhauled the official White House website for Inauguration Day, not only was the Spanish language version of the site taken down and the accessibility features wiped out, but all references to the LGBTQ plus community and HIV resources were pulled down from federal government web pages. Now, in the wake of this move by Trump, the trans queen took to IG to speak up and seems to have announced that she's HIV positive in the process. And I think I also have some of those posts. So it just says, my health and well-being is as an entertainer is at risk now. This is what she wrote about the information being pulled from the White House website. I am personally affected by this stance and will work to use this new platform to not only find resources for myself, but those who I'm connected to socially and here. I'm so sorry, everyone. This is hard and it's frustrating and it's insulting. Well, you don't care. You know he don't care. So now, while the post was mostly met with support from followers, some people were rude and clearly don't understand why having HIV information and resources on a government website is important, because clearly they don't feel like it affects them until it affects them. So when someone asked if people actually turn to the federal government website for those resources, Lexi opened up and shared her own personal experience. She said, I actually utilized the government funded program for over 10 years, and it's the only reason that I'm alive today. And then also said, my heart is broken for the lack of education surrounding HIV protection in our community. I really did not think that I would have to explain myself like this today, but it seems appropriate and necessary. This is what she captured of a screenshot of the black back and forth she had with the commenter. So it was like, yeah, child, first of all, yes, you do. Unfortunately, in 2020 still got to explain to the idiots out there that, yes, people are still being affected by HIV and AIDS. People still use, like, it's on a federal website. And yeah, all the information that you need is out there. There's some people out here who still probably believe, like, you can get HIV from someone who's undetectable. When undetectable means you cannot transmit the virus. So people really need to brush up on their education. Meanwhile, there's a lot of y'all out here running around raw door with no condoms and getting checked, spreading all kinds of diseases, but you worrying about Lexi, who's actually doing the right thing and protecting herself because she's educated on how to keep herself from infecting others. So it's the ignorance for me. But yeah, so for those of you who didn't see, it's like, yeah, this is the screenshot where she basically posted Trump administration removes LGBTQ plus and HIV resources. So yeah, he wants to probably remove everything and have nothing but pro MAGA right-wing Nazi propaganda upon it. I don't know. I haven't gone on the website, so I don't know what they have over there. But for him to consistently push for this foolishness and make like it's okay, I just don't understand why he's doing this, but I'm not surprised. So some people said we just got to get to midterms, then hopefully flip the House and Senate. We're in this together, love. Another person said extra points for working in the Oregon Trail into the post. But much love. The sickest part of all this is how happy it's made some people. Those people are the reason hell exists. Another person said we will get through this together. Another person says my thoughts are with you and all our American sisters, you brave warriors. And yeah, so we definitely got to get out there and get rid of this. We really got to turn things around with the midterms. And Queen of Flips, let me find out she's in the comments. She said, wow, I love you, sister. This is just a hurdle we will get over. I'm here for you. So yeah, a lot of people were sending her a lot of positive reinforcements. And you want to know something? I got to give it up to Miss Lexi because she definitely had a good arc this past episode of Drag Race, where she basically opened up about how she said she did drag for survival. So while a lot of y'all, and I don't think she was trying to read y'all down, but I guess she was real like because her situation was different. Where you see all these kids, oh, I'm doing it for fun and I get to express myself and I get to play dress up and stuff. From the era that I come from and Lexi comes from, we could relate in a sense of like, yeah, drag and a lot of that comes from a place of survival where it was like, when you're a trans woman, when you're a drag person, when you're a queer person, it's hard to get a regular job out in these streets. So a lot of people, when you're homeless, which she was, and she was talking about how she was staying up in an abandoned house where there was no food, running water and stuff. They were peeing in bottles and all this other mess, where they did what they had to do to survive. And she was literally using drag as a way to be able to put food on the table for her to eat. And a lot of people need to realize that, yeah, the times was hard back, and when it came down to drag. Now it's easily accessible and seems to be more acceptable in a lot of spaces. We ain't talking about the bigots of what they think, because they always going to be straight up haters. But people need to also be aware of other situations that goes on. So when Lexi was up there, I was literally like, preach, sis, because I know a lot of queens who share her story. And it's sad that when you have people in those situations, but it's like, yeah, people need to be aware of those stories on a show like Drag Race. And I think it's all lollipops and damn rainbows. That it was like, yeah, people have their humble beginnings. So even though I've seen it before, I have totally looked at Lexi as one of those girls who is going to go far in this competition. Like, she's definitely one of my favorites. Her, Sam Starr is up there. I need Ariadne to give me a little more than just being pretty, because you are not working. It ain't working for you in these challenges. You and Corey, I think your days is numbered. But and Lana Jarrett, I think you need to give me more than just looks too. Because when she made that comment about, I'm so glad I look pretty, and I rolled my eyes so damn hard. I was like, okay, is this what y'all just here for, just to be pretty? Like, if that's the case, just do a pageant. Because Drag Race ain't about just being pretty. Y'all gotta have other things going on with the show too. So, yeah, I definitely see Lexi going all the way to the end, and I definitely want to see her. I definitely want to see Sam Starr. I definitely love the fact that On Your Nerve won the challenge. One of my friends was saying what she should have did, which is about, I try just like your vagina. They should have did, like, when she was doing the jazz number, he was saying, like, she should have had a martini glass with an olive in it, and it's like, how do you like your drink? And she should have been like, dry, just like your vagina. Like, just play into that. I was like, okay, that's kind of cute. She should have worked into it, but I did love her jazz rendition. And then I love the little Vogan song when it was all duck walking. That was a cute one. Other than that, I just thought the challenge was mid. But yeah, so I say all this to say, what do y'all think of this story in regards to Lexi? And then also the fact that we still got ignorant ass people out here who still don't even understand how HIV and stuff is, like, education is important. And see, would you making comments like that, you wonder why that we at the bottom of the totem pole when it comes to education, because they removing everything from federal websites and things of that nature. People just aren't aware of what's going on in the world. So let me know what you guys think of this story in the comments down below. Okay, so I'm like seeing comments. Hold on. Felix says my friend's mom voted for Trump, but I think she regrets it now because she said she doesn't agree with everything. I still don't give a fuck about these people anymore. The ones, I regret it. And what, bitch? First of all, stand on it. Like, first of all, those of you who voted for Trump, your vote, you get one time to make a vote. Don't regret stuff now, because now you start to be like, well, damn, he's going a step too far. You voted for him. So, like the rest of us, you're just going to have to deal with this shit show for 40 years, 4 years. Now they're talking about he's trying to do a third term, which is not going to happen. They could try to sit and change whatever they can change. It's not going to happen. He's not going to become the president forever. That's something he wanted. Can't come up here and trying to all of a sudden change the damn Constitution. Even Republicans are starting to push back on some of his BS. Well, look, good for her. I don't care about, she's an idiot. Tomorrow, now she having regrets. I'll look at that later, and I'll see. I'll probably make that as a topic tomorrow. So Jessica Tarloff was right. We need a moderate Democrat for. Why does that name sound familiar? For now, progressive politics only works in New York City and California, but that doesn't work in the Rust Belt or the South. Well, I don't even think progressives are even talking about the LGBTQ plus community. It's these center Democrats, like the Kamala Harrises, and quiet as it's kept, a lot of those uppity Democrats, like the old ones, like the Nancy Pelosi's, they are very much on the side of the Republicans where they don't care about all this progressive stuff. Abortion told to the people, go to conservative media and Joe Rogan and go to the youth. No, don't go to Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's a flip-flopper. I don't even think they need to go on. Like these people that are just going to go on and they're pretty much going to have their mind made up on certain things, like him or even that big head heifer, Piers Morgan. Don't do it. Like I said, I get the youth more AOC, but she's too extreme for a person in their 60s and 70s. Well, look, these old people going to die off eventually anyway. So, the old guard in regards of Hillary, the Clintons, and the Obamas, and the Bushes, and all that stuff, those days are long gone. Sandstar is my winner pick right now. The other girl I was rooting for was for, yeah, we were all rooting for Lucky. Like I said, it's annoying when queens think drag is only about a look. Exactly. It's like it's not. It's you got to get up there and lip sync and perform too. It's like we all been talking about lip sync assassin, lip sync assassin. I'm like, bitch, none of y'all are lip sync assassins. You think a lip sync assassin is jump splits and doing pop dips and spins all over a room? That's not a lip sync assassin. A lip sync assassin is getting up there, emoting a performance, knowing all the words of the song that you're going to perform, and really giving a show. When Latrice Royale got her ass up there and did Natural Woman, that was a lip sync assassin move. When you get up there and fully feeling and embodying the performance. I think people get it misconstrued. They think maybe a lip sync assassin is George's, who literally got sent a bunch of girls home. That could be one form of a lip sync assassin. But, you know, Mistress just dropped a YouTube video with Vanjie and they are spilling tea. Brooke was at the top. She hinted at sleeping with George's during All Stars 9. It's a lot. Mistress is so messy. One of my friends actually said to me, he said, I could definitely see you doing a podcast with Mistress. I was like, I'm with it. I was like, I would do a show with Mistress. We both be messy. Talking about these queens. And I like Vanjie. She follows me on TikTok. It says they also removed the tribute pages of Matthew. Yeah. They could all burn in hell for all I care. But he gonna get what's coming to him. Okay, so now let's move on to this topic and let's talk about Kim G, who wants to be one of the queens to compete on the Traitors. Now, I'm living for the Traitors actually this season. Like, I'm still mad for Bob the Drag Queen and what happened to him, and I can't wait till they get Boss and Rob out the damn house. I'm sure it's only a matter of time before that happens. But Kim G said that she want to go on, she wants to go on the show, and I'm here for it. So. After Peppermint and Bob the Drag Queen turned it on the Traitor season 2 and 3 respectively, another drag queen is ready to throw their hat into the Traitor/Faithful ring. Now, the legendary finalist from the 8th season of RuPaul's Drag Race has proven to be one of the wittiest and smartest queens to compete on the main stage, but fans shouldn't expect to see her on a season of All Stars in the near future. Never say never at this point. I don't know if I had an interest in competing with my drag anymore. There's other shows I would love to go on. Traitors, call me. I'd be so good at that show. This is what she told Pride. Now, Kimchi sounds like a match made in heaven for the Traitors. The $1 million question, though, would Kimchi want to be a traitor or a faithful? Now, she said, I would love to be a faithful that gets recruited to be a traitor. Well, sis, they all start out as faithfuls who eventually get recruited to be a traitor. I mean, you have Alan Cumming, who pretty much just picks the traitor, who he wants to be the traitors. He'll pick 3 people. And then after that, then the game begins. So he says, I love social deduction games. I'm just very nerdy. There's a game called Blood on the Clock Tower, which is basically traitors, but much more intense. I'm very good at these games. Wait, I've never heard of Blood on the Clock Tower. What show is that? Oh, what game is that? Like I said, another popular reality TV show seems like the next big thing to add to Chi's ever-growing resume. Not only has the star taken over the makeup world with Kimchi Chic Beauty, but she's also partnering with Sunday School, Sunday Flowers on their limited edition new cannabis gummy, Kimchi Yuzu. She said, I've been a THC user since I was 18. Sunday School is a really cool brand. They're Asian-owned and employ mostly queer women. I fully support their mission and everything they do. Can I get a damn sponsor or somebody that could give me some weed? that's among the homosexual community? Because I'm like, I'd definitely jump on board with that. Now, Corinne Ang, sorry, representative for Sunday School, shared the company's mutual excitement to work with the drag superstar. They said, we really wanted to work with Kim Chi to service the community. She has an amazing platform and she's very aligned with our brand. We wanted to do something special that was distinctively Korean. It's all about celebrating individuality. Now, fans can learn more about Sunday School on their official website. And there was the full interview that she did. I think she did it with Ricky Cornish. So if y'all want to check out that interview, you definitely can check that out. But look, here's the thing. I wouldn't mind seeing her on the Traitors. I like Kim Chi, and she is very much, because she's always said that she's very much a nerdy queen and all this other stuff. So I wouldn't mind seeing her on there. But there's other queens that I've mentioned that I would love to see on the show. Speaking of Angie, we were talking about her before we went into this topic. I would love to see Miss Vanjie on the show. I would also like to see T.S. Madison and Candy Muse. I'd also like to see Willem in Alaska on there. So definitely, I feel like, but I don't know. I don't think Willem has been blackballed. I hope she has, because, her situation with RuPaul, I don't think it affects her from working on other TV projects. It shouldn't. RuPaul doesn't run Hollywood. He runs the whole drag race thing. And if you go on to the Traitors, I would definitely love to see her go up on there and be messy. And to be honest, I'm kind of over the one person representation of a show, whereas y'all can have multiple housewives, multiple members of Big Brother or Survivor, and even the challenge that goes on to the show. Why can't we have multiple drag race girls go on and really turn it up on that show? Or if not, we need our own show in regards of those type of things. Something like a mix of the Traitors, Big Brother, and maybe even the challenge. Just mix all that in a gumbo and give us a show with some entertaining homosexuals going at it with each other. So I say to say, what do you guys think of this story? Would you love to see Kim Chi on a season of The Traitors? I just feel like if you can find people that's well entertaining and smart and know how to play the game and really give us, some mess when we need it, because with these reality shows, they got to be entertaining. So whatever your thoughts are on this whole situation, let me know in the comments down below. They said they should have at least 2 drag race queens. Agreed, because of y'all had 3 housewives, 2 of them were just kicked off, and now it's just Black Dolores is left. And then y'all got a couple of Survivor people. So yeah, they need to have more than one, because they had Peppermint on season 2, then they had Bob the Drag Queen on season 3. It's like, no, y'all need to add more to the docket. And so you said it sucks they only get 1 queen per season. Sam is coming out that dating Britney during the conservatorship, and it played into her not trusting her fellow human beings. And the day after her father was found not guilty was the day our marriage died. I'm like, he's actually talking about it? She became the president. Well, okay. Well, she found her partner. Well, screw her then. As Mitch was Vanjie about to drop out a podcast together. They hinted at, are you watching their show and my show at the same time? I'm honored, but child, concentrate. But then again, I know the younger people, y'all can watch 5,000 things. I can't talk because I do the same thing. I'll be in the middle of editing my video. I'll be having the TV on. I'll be having all, and I'll be working on my computer. It'd be 50 million things I'll be doing at once. But look, her justice is that she's free. So you may not be able to get what you wanted out of your father, getting away with all the things he did to you. But the reality is you got your freedom. That's what she needs to look at. She got her freedom. She's no longer in the conservatorship. And now she can live her best life as she sees fit. But disconnect yourself from your parents. If you feel like they cause you more harm than anything, then it's like, stay away from your parents, stay away from your, the siblings if you feel like they're toxic. But that should be the only thing that you got out of it. But you allowed your marriage to, implode because of that. But I get it. Like, when you're depressed and you're sad and stuff, it's like, it definitely affects you. And when she's someone who actually has, allegedly mental issues, bipolar disorder, whatever the case is, I could definitely understand that your dark days are your dark days, and it's hard to get out of that fog of of depression. I was like, hold on now, because I was like, I lost my mic sound. Let me not touch the wire. I was like, where the sound go? So I feel for Brittany. All right, so now let's get into our final topic. Now, speaking of the Traitors, Alan Cumming is opening up about the Traitors and his Emmy win. So he recently did an interview with Out where he is on the cover, and I'll show you guys the cover in a second. And he basically was opening up and talking about that time when he won the first Emmy, where he beat RuPaul's Drag Race, and how he felt a little guilt around his win. So Alan Cumming, who is Out's January-February cover star and host of the Peacock series, The Traitors, discussed his reaction after winning 2 Primetime Emmy Awards that have been consecutively awarded to RuPaul's Drag Race and RuPaul himself for several years. Now, Alan Cumming said in September, the Spy Kids star won the Emmy for Outstanding Host for The Traitors US, ending the drag legend's 8-year winning streak. Now, while Cumming was unable to accept his award in person, he did take this to social media to express his excitement for the win, saying thank you to all the Traitors crew up at Ardo's Castle who keep smiling despite the long hours and the Scottish weather. And sweet baby Jesus, how could I forget the amazing cast who were so fun to play with, he wrote on Instagram. The winning didn't stop there for Cumming and the Traitors US, with the popular Peacock series earning the Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Reality Competition Program. So we are so grateful because we are a new show, and you guys, when you like something and you tend to stick to it, which is a good quality, but we appreciate it all the more. This is what the bisexual talent said during his acceptance speech. Now, in a recent interview with Out, Cumming opened up about why do they call him Cummings? It's Alan Cumming. He's coming and then he's going. So yeah. So it said, Cumming opened up about the Traitors US beating out RuPaul's Drag Race at last year's Emmys, revealing that it was a bittersweet feeling, saying, I didn't quite understand the full portent of it until it was nearly happening. Cummings went on to say that he felt terrible while speaking with some of the Drag Race season 16 stars at the event. They said, fortunately, the queens embraced the X2 X-Men United star, with the latter adding, they said, if anyone's going to win it apart from Ru, it should be you in your show because it's carrying on the mantle. Now, as for Ru, Cumming revealed to Out that the legendary drag star had only one thing to say to him after his win. Not you better work, bitch. It was congratulations. Now, despite failing to clinch a 9th consecutive Emmy, Ru still holds the record for most wins in the Outstanding Host category and remains the most awarded Black entertainer in Emmy history. Now, Cummings' recent interview comes a few weeks after the Traitors US Season 3 premiered on Peacock. So here's the thing. We already talked about Bob being on the show, and all these people are trying to win the prize pot of $250,000. It's a great show. It's about backstabbing and stuff. It's kind of got a little clue added to it. That's why I like the show. So for those of you who have no idea what the show is, it's like, you have people among you where you're in a Scottish castle where you have these traitors who are a group of contestants selected by Cumming, whose job is to murder the remaining players, the faithfuls, while remaining undetected to steal the final prize fund for themselves, which is $250,000. So it comes on every Thursday on Peacock. And then, Drag Race, comes on every Friday on MTV, because it's not on Wow Presents Plus. Some people say it is on there. It's not on there because I have Wow Presents Plus and it's not on there. But I have to say this. I don't understand why he's apologizing, but I guess maybe that's the insecurity in him in regards to that, as most celebrities can be in a lot of those situations. And to me, it's like, you know what? As much as I love Drag Race, sometimes it feels like when it comes to RuPaul, he's kind of been phoning it in lately in regards to the hosting, and doesn't feel like he's been as engaged. There's moments where it ebbs and flows, but for the most part, Roland Common, when he's up there performing and doing his hosting duty, he is so over the top and dramatic. I just be cackling when I be watching him. And then he throws people's pictures down on the floor like he's having a fit. and then how he delivers his lines, it's just so hilarious. So he seems fully locked in. He's engaged. He seems to be having a great time. I hope he doesn't get to a point like Ru did, where you've been doing the show for so long, it kind of just becomes old hat and you don't seem like you're as excited. You're just going through the motions. So I'm hoping he doesn't get to a place of that, as the show progresses. But it also goes to show we need way more. The queer hosts is where it's at, where they be delivering, like, they're the far more entertaining people that we have on these shows. And we need way more reality shows that kind of play up in that whole wheelhouse. And then the good thing is we have, this, we have the Traitors, we have Drag Race, we have For the Love of Dilfs over there on Out. Speaking of which, I'm looking dead at it, and it's like, yeah, that's the app, the site. It's called Out. On TV. So we have that. So, we have our shows that's all over the place, but, so I don't see why he had to apologize, because it's like, yeah, your show was really good. And look, you can't always be on top forever. And to me, I feel like maybe because RuPaul's Drag Race, a lot of people in the industry love the show. A lot of people who vote love the show. It's an entertaining show. And I feel like the reason why it's been on this winning streak over the years, because it's been exciting. But yeah, when the new shiny thing comes in, that's got to get, that's going to be the next show that people tune in for and want to, speak about or give awards to. So I said, this to say, what do you guys think of this story in regards of Alan Cumming? I'm feeling bad that he won for the Traitors. I was like, look, RuPaul got plenty of Emmys. He is not hurting. He's still, like they said, made history as the most rewarded person with the amount of Emmys, black person, a black queer man who has 8 consecutive Grammys. Or Emmy. Grammys, what the hell am I talking about? Today I am on one. We're getting all my stuff confused. Apparently, they got Grammys. He got Emmys. Primetime Emmys. So, whatever your thoughts are on this story, let me know in the comments down below. I said the way she performed got criticized 20 years ago, but was praised today, and she felt I laid the foundation. Well, I guess Britney is extremely sensitive. So I said the critics, the Grammys, and the industry bowing to them. Me, I'm ruining the music industry because I don't sing live. When I dance, I don't write my music, and I dress like a bimbo on stage. But meanwhile, you see so many of these other girls who are doing that. And to me, when you look at Britney, it's like, yeah, she is the pop star is a persona. It's the job. It's what she was doing. It's not like she was saying, this is me fully. I mean, we got elements of who Britney really was in a lot of her song choices. If people really paid attention, you knew like a lot of the songs that she was doing were parts of who she is. First of all, most artists, I feel like even if they don't write the songs, if they pick a song, they pretty much relate to it in some capacity, which is why they sing it for the most part. The ones that last long. So, I know that she's been burned and she's been hurt, and hopefully she can get through the muck of it all, and she'll be able to bounce back into the pop icon that she was destined to be. And she won't allow these people to still be in her head about stuff. But this is something she's got to work out with a therapist. But I know it's like when you've been beat down by this industry for so long, I could totally understand like that trauma just stays with you. So I would love for Britney to make a comeback, but I don't know if it's even possible at this point. But everybody would champion that if it did happen. So good luck to you, Brit. But anyway, so we're at the end of today's show. I want to thank you all for tuning into this latest episode, this long episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. It's a lot of tea to spill, but I'll be back on tomorrow with the latest and celebrity news, gossip, and all things entertainment. If you have not already, please hit the like button and that subscribe button. Also, be sure to smash the notification bell so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered, and also be on the lookout for those timestamps that I'll be putting in throughout the show. So love you all for watching. See you tomorrow. And until next time, which is tomorrow, ciao, darlings.